with a buddy. So stick with us right throughout the afternoon via the Clutch app, Vision and the audio sounds of Apple 98.5 FM. Rotherham went through the contest, went without it, ball at ground level. Hot one to speak of. Early ball was shoveled out. Umpires picked out a free kick. It's going to go to the Devils for a throw, and it'll be Dylan Lamb with the first kick of the afternoon. Important cog in the Devils' wheel as Lant wheels and goes onto that preferred left. Gets the ball inside 50. Ball at ground level here. Sun in our eyes here. Off the glare. Plays in from everywhere. There's a whistle imminent. There'll be a stoppage and a ball up about 30 metres out from the Darley goal. So important early touch for Lance, Spence.
Yeah, absolutely. Bewley and Johnson going head-to-head as well, which is good to see. And Cousins has got first crack at Geordie Johnson while Ryan Walsh is on Rodder. So I'm looking to see what Mace Cousins can do on Geordie Johnson, make him a bit accountable and attack as well as defend.
Darley to attack. There's the ball up. Ball at ground level. Chance here for Joel Cadman. Shovels it out. Smothered there by Matty Johnson. They're not out of trouble yet. Ball thrown onto the boot there by Carson. Got it towards half-back. Jeffries couldn't take the mark. Gather at ground level was good by Young, who got it to land. Searching hand pass to Lahure. Went to go by foot. And then decided to go by hand. Jack Bewley could have been held without it. The umpire let it go. Going through with strength there was Young. Ball spilled away from him and bounced end on end over the line for a boundary throwing about 20 metres around from the Darley goal.
They'll be looking for an early goal here, the Devils, to get East right under the pump, especially East kicking to the scoring end. So Darley will be looking for a cheeky one here from the stoppage.
Serious congestion of players deep into attack here, the Devils. There's the boundary throw-in. It's Angwin with the tap. Umpire's blowing the whistle, and there's going to be another ball up. So a few stoppages early, as we predicted off air before the opening bounce. There's the ball up. Tap one by Angwin, goes boundary side. Jack Bewley held without the footy. Umpire let that go. Been a bit stiff twice already, Jack. Rotherham, quick hands, was intercepted there by Collie. Ball at ground level again. Stoppage imminent. The umpire blows the whistle, and there'll be a ball up some 35 metres away from the Darley goal.
Repeat stoppage is the story. The first couple of minutes here, Toddy. Once again, East holding Darley down, but they want to get a goal here, the Devils.
Ball up, ground level ball. Bit of a stacks on the mill. Neither side can gain any ascendancy out of the congestion. Fires out in the direction of Ganley. Hurried kick. Risky kick, in fact, needed to be good. Baker over the ball, couldn't gather it. Ball gets hurried towards outer side centre wing. Clean bowled Lamp, but managed to get a shin on it. Got it towards Brett, who went short, and the kick's good. And the reigning best and fairest found a target in Lant, who wheels on to that left boot. Squaring kick, goes into the Rodder direction. Couldn't take the mark. Johnson kick across the body. You speak of Matty. Got it towards half-back. There's the awkward kicking style of McDougall. Got plenty of it and found Walsh. No to defend it. And finds himself on outer centre wing. Wasted no time with the hand pass to Jeffries, who went in the Johnson direction. Spoil at the back was okay from Cousins, but just infringed. And Geordie Johnson, the danger forward, off 9 goals in their first meet in round 9. We'll go back and have a shot on goal from 50.
That's the only thing with the Cousins matchup. Geordie's probably going to be a bit quick off the push from Cousins, because Cousins probably doesn't quite have the height and jump, although he's athletic. We know how athletic Geordie Johnson is, so that's probably the only thing that is going to let Cousins down with that matchup.
So Johnson with 44 goals this year, just 2 behind the leader, and Nick Rodder is at the other end. So kicks on its way. It's not a bad effort. Has it got the accuracy? It doesn't. Could be a mark there on the goal line. There is, in fact, and it's just poor defending there by the Devils. The mark's been taken there by Walsh. So he can run around here and have a snap. We'll see how the defenders form in front of goal holds up here. So he runs around and misses everything. He mightn't even get it out of bounds or anything. Well, he'll get that. As, Yep, as predicted there, a true defender's shot on goal across the body, Spence.
Yeah, not one to look back at the highlights for Walsh there, but locked in the east forward 50.
Boundary throw-in. Tanner. Once that tap, Ward gathered, dispossessed, ball at ground level, hot footy to speak of. Cousins over the footy, gathered, ridden into the ground, unlucky not to get a free kick. But it's been paid by the umpire, who's wasn't his jurisdiction. He's called that from about 50 metres away. And just free kick was there. We saw it from here. Cousins away, onto the left boot, just inside the boundary line. Tumbling left foot kicks poor. It's been cut off. And it's East Point with ball in hand.
Backing themselves from a long way out here, East. That's 2 now, Toddy. So Geordie Johnson's had a shot from about 55, 60, and we've got another shot on goal now.
So the kick from about 50 Gets plenty of the footy. How about the accuracy? They like it. They're up and about here, East Point. That's a terrific start to the afternoon. They get there first. And Geordie Johnson gets his first of the afternoon. So ominous signs for the Devils.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with that, Darley. They had it down in their forward 50 for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and East got the ball out and locked it in their end, and they were able to score. So they'll be disappointed with that, the Devils. 1
goal straight 6. East Point lead Darley, no score. They're into the breeze in this first quarter, the Devils. Very good afternoon to one and all listening via Apple 98.5 FM by the vision of the Clutch app. Sunny skies overhead. Clear on the eyes. Ball at ground level. Rodamaronis. Clumsy hand pass was effective nonetheless as they go inside 50 once again. Opportunity here for Bilney for his first touch. Awkward kick, inboard, chance here for Jeffrey. Gather was terrific. Hand pass went through the legs of Bewley. Nearly found Matty Johnson. His quick hands went back to Jeffrey. Chance here outside of the boot from Johnson. Went straight into the face of Bewley. Somehow he recovered. Was a saving hand pass, found Cousins. Brett measured the kick. Paul won at that. It's been cut off and the mark's been taken there by Kenny. And Kenny will go back and have a shot on goal from about 25 metres out. 45-degree angle. So Matty Brett wouldn't be happy with that short option turnover kick. Spence, they could have raffled it in the end.
Yeah, that's the second kick in a row inside 50. Obviously, Mace Cousins' last one resulted in a goal for Geordie Johnson. So Liam Kenny can go and put this one through and punch the Devils from turnovers straight away.
And that's what they did last week against Redan. Cost them the game. So Kenny, from 25 metres out, he likes it, the youngster. He puts it through. He gets his first. East Point get their second. And some separation early on the scoreboard here at Darley Park. They're 2 goals straight, 12. They lead Darley no score.
Obviously kicking to the scoring end, East, so they'll be looking to capitalise in the first quarter. But, yeah, like I said, Darley's 2 turnovers inside forward 50 by foot have cost them the 2 goals that East have kicked through Johnston and Canny. So they'll be looking to polish that up a bit, the Devils.
7 minutes gone, opening term here. The last 3 or 4 minutes played in East Point's half, and they've just capitalised on those 2 turnover kicks from Darley. Ball up in the middle of the ground. Tap won by Van Meel. Quick hands, fight out from Bewley. Off the back of Baker, we got it to Jack Bewley. Hurry kick towards half forward. Foot race on in earnest. Running past the ball there. It was chance here for Young. Quick hands inboard. Baker couldn't gather. Was going to go the tap, then forced to go the tackle. They managed to get a hand pass out. Each point got it towards Matty Johnson, who fired the kick out towards members side centre wing. Kenny went the tap. It was meant for Rodamaronis, but it found Bewley. He's got a habit of doing that. Got it towards Azapati, got it to Ward. The ball's on half forward. Free kick every day of the week to Bishop. Umpire called play on. Ball spilled out towards Mitch Ward. Lowered the eyes. Kick's terrific. And found Nick Rodder, who took a nice mark on the chest. And I'll tell you what, the sun's beaming off his head as it is the roof and the bonnet of those cars over there in the forward pocket.
Quality player, Nick Rodder, but this is a challenging shot on goal in front of the Darley coach's box over there, just next to the light tower. So if he can put this through, that'll really show his talent.
Yeah, and it's a left to right kick too, so if it was right to left, it'd be able to curl back. So this will take his best, Rodder. Set sail for the judge. It's going to go across the face. It's going to get rushed through. Tanner out of nowhere, put it through the big fella. The pencil.
Got it.
Something out of nothing. The Devils get the response.
Much needed response too, Toddy, there from the Devils. So we'll be happy with that, getting that from the big ruckman. And East will be disappointed they let a goal slip from just, well, probably about 1.5 metres out from the goal line. So they'll be disappointed there, East.
What's a bit of footy smarts there from Tanner, just showing his progress and improvement, the will and the thought process to push forward to the goal line and contest that Rodder kick if in fact it didn't make the distance. Yeah. So reward for footy smarts there for Tanner.
Yeah, exactly right. They'll need to do that, Darley. They'll need to make the East players accountable because that's the only way they're going to be able to score.
Confidence up for Tanner. Tap one by Van Meel though. Basketball style, Matty Johnson tries to knock the ball to his own advantage. Fell into the hands of Lant. Turnover handball. Chance here for East by foot towards outer side centre wing. Jeffries takes the mark. Plays on. Gave it over to the running Toolman. Tumbling kick inside forward 50. Johnson went the tap. Caught over the football. There's McDougall. Excellent tackle there from Ward. Holding the ball. Good decision, umpire. So Mitch Ward with ball in hand. Confidence up. He's had a good block of games. Mitch still trying to cement his place in the side. Short kick, risky but okay to Matthew Brett. Gee, that kick put Land under the pump, but he was up to it in the end. So decides to go into the middle. That's a terrific kick. Found Luther Baker. It's a bit like Bewley from a distance. He'd like the sound of that. Left foot kick to half forward. Gardner couldn't take the mark. The youngster in front. Second effort, okay. Wheeled onto the right boot. Tumbling, awkward-looking kick meant for Rodder. Was more meant for an outfield cricketer there in the end because it went along the ground. Kick across the body from Bewley. Forward is okay. Ball at ground level. Chance here for the Devils. Umpire let it go. Tackle applied. They wanted the free kick. How about it spill free? Just a mile away from us with the glare in our eyes here. Before the umpire comes in, saves the day and gives us time to readjust the eyes, and there'll be a ball up some 15, 20 metres away from the Darley goal. So ball up. Players set themselves. Ball at ground level. Baker goes crashing through. Bailed up there by Lovig. And the umpire says, I'll have it, and there'll be a ball up.
Pete Stoppage is in forward 50 for the Devils, so once again they're looking to score here.
So it'll be Brown in the ruck. Won that tap. Bewley applies the tackle and the pressure before Jacob Brown runs the ball out of bounds. Geez, a fair kick. He just stepped over the line, unfortunately. Kick went to member side centre wing.
Yeah, you got a hold of that one, but they'll have to bring it back for a throw-in. Another stoppage for the Devils, about 25 out from goal.
Speaks a bit of the breeze here today, travelling to the back of Smash end, of course, the end that East Point are kicking to today. There's the throw-in. Rodder won the tap. Chance here for Bewley. Cross the body on the right boot. Does he get the journey? I think he may have. Bewley gets his first. Darley get their second. And it's all square here at Darley Park.
Quality goal there from Bewley. He just straight through about 4 East defenders. They couldn't tackle him, and he's snapped it through on his right foot, his opposite foot, but we know how good he is on both feet. So they're quality goal, and they're back even with East now, the Devils, so they'll be up and about here.
2 goals straight, 12 apiece. They'll be happy with that because, they talk about infectious footy, and Darley were just continuing on from last week with those 2 defensive turnovers, but they've managed to respond and square it up here. It's the ball up. Tap won by Tanner. Bewley, the last goal kicker, runs after the footy, gets knocked off the ball. Young put Cadman under the pump, then put his brother Duncan also under the pump. Ball at ground level. Taylor's hit on Young was too high, and the youngster, the Devil, the man in the blue boots, after a pre-season of Footscray VFL, goes short, kicks okay to Duncan Cadman, back from Barley. Kick goes towards centre wing. Chance here for Bishop. It might have been thrown away. He was indeed. The ball finds Rodimer Omnis for his first mark and kick of the afternoon. Kick short. It's okay. So they're a mile away from us here. Centre wing. They go along the line. Towards half forward, Johnson comes out, takes a nice mark. Speaking of Geordie on 50, wastes no time. Kick smothered, cut off. Well read by Matthew Brett. Fires the ball back. Gee, that's a terrific kick from a standing start, if you don't mind. Has found Brodie Ward. So he goes short. Kick was okay. Bishop dropped what he should have taken. Follow-up work was terrific there from Rungy. Bit unlucky not to be awarded a free kick. Ball gets continued to be knocked forward. Ball gets shoveled out. Quick hands there from Baker. Ball at half forward now for the Devils. Umpire's picked out a free kick. It's going to go to East Point. Not sure what for. The umpire just blew the whistle and said, oh, that's all yours, East. And Jacob Brown with ball in hand on half-back. So it'd be nice to get some footy broadcast side as he lowers the eyes, goes towards Fraser. Commitment on the ball was terrific from Lahoure. Mars tackled, managed to get ball to boot though, going about 8 or 9 metres to his side. Joel Cadman goes to ground. Jack Jeffrey with the tackle. And the umpire says, I'll have it, and there'll be a ball up. Attacking side of centre wing, members side of the ground for East Point. Scores level here at Darley Park, 2 goals apiece. And we've been playing some 13 and a half minutes opening term. At the back of the stoppage there was Joel Cadman, just threw the ball onto the boot, just hacked the ball back into the collective, the group of players. And there's another stoppage, so ball up, tap one there by Angwin. Baker at ground level, shovels it out towards Young, who got it to Cadman. In fact, that was Bewley at ground level with that handball. The mark's been taken on half back here for East Point, and it's going to be Lovig. So Lovig with the long right foot kick goes in the Fraser direction. Terrific mark there from the youngster. Read it beautifully with the breeze and all. Lowers the eyes, goes in the Jeffries direction, went through the hands of Lahoure, dropped what he should have taken. Hand pass out, Collie caught one, loose one over the shoulder. But a bit of friendly fire there as Leonard got the footy. Went by the right boot, sat okay there for Rungy it was. Right foot kick towards half forward. Rodder in pursuit. Gathers blind turn. Terrific there for a big man. Looked inboard towards Rungy, but he kept running. Rungy, and Rodder was forced to go by boot. Territory kick. It's been cut off there by Brown. On the defensive 50. So they'll be made to pay against a side like East Point. There's an old-fashioned talk from way back. Leonard at the back. Good spoil on Brown. Duncan Cadman thumped the ball, probably what he should have taken. Marr shoveled it out, nearly a throw. Got it to Brown. Ball went along the ground, inside 50. Chance here for Geordie Johnson. Friendly fire. Cousins caught one in the face. So too did Geordie Johnson. I hope they're okay. Ball at ground level. There's going to be a stoppage here, and Cousins just counting his teeth before the umpire balls it up.
High pressure game here, Toddy. Plenty of tackles from either side, so looking to find some space. But as soon as East or Darley find space, the opposition seem to shut them down.
Ball at ground level. Neither side can gain any ascendancy. There'll be a repeat stoppage here, you'd think. So we've been playing near 16 minutes opening term, 2 goals apiece. Here's the ball up. Angwood, Van Meal won that tap. All Darley, though, on East Point goal side. Bewley, quick hands, got it to Lant. Left foot kicks good and found Young. So Lant getting plenty of it early. Young plays on to Cousins. Pressure applied there by Johnson. Kick had to be up to it, and it was, and found Baker. So Baker just inside the East Point coach's box, goes along the line. East Point seem to have numbers here, but it's a hot footy on in earnest. Cry for a throw, and it's been paid, and away they go through Lant on outer side centre wing. It's an open forward line here. Rodder can take a bounce, or 2 if he likes. It's going to be goal number 3 for the Devils. To the goose. Rodder gets one over the back. And the Devils, they hit the front here at Darley Park. They're 3 goals straight, 18. They lead East Point 2 goals straight, 12. After resting a 12-point lead early, the Devils now find themselves 6 points in front.
So Bewley and Johnston are going head-to-head, but Bewley at the moment's ahead of him. He's upwards nearly at 10 disposals already, and we're probably just over halfway through the first quarter. So they need to do something about that, East, to capitalise kicking with the win this quarter. Otherwise, Darley will be in front at quarter time after kicking against the breeze.
Back in the middle of the ground here. Angwin into the ruck. Van Meal won that tap. Ball at ground level. Bewley, speaking of Jack, into the middle. Had it stolen away from him. Chance here for Van Meal. Read well off the boot there by Matthew Brett. Took an ice mark on the chest in front of his opposition numbers sake. I speak of Geordie Johnson. So Brett, normally good by foot. Misses that target. Meant for Andy as a party. He's got to be good. Close up against the boundary line. So handful of kicks for Brett in the opening quarter. A couple of them have let him down, but tough execution conditions into the breeze heightens the importance and the value on those executed well out of the back half. Grabbing it out of the ruck there was Angwin. Ball got shoveled out towards Cadman, who hacked the ball towards our members side centre wing. Carson at ground level knocked the ball back towards Matty Johnson, who went by hand. They concede here. Rungy nearly got his hand on the ball, but it's gathered there by Walsh. His hand pass was errant. Devils have got numbers here at ground level. Before there's the stacks on the mill, the umpire says, I'll have it. And there'll be a ball up right in front of the coach's box here on half forward members side of the ground for Darley, who kicked to the golf club end against the breeze in this opening term.
Darley's pressures are enormous at the moment, and East just can't handle it. They're right on top here, the Devils.
There's the ball up. Tap one by Angwin through traffic. Matty Johnson managed to get foot to it, but didn't gain any ascendancy at all. Ball went back as quick as it came in before it ricochets off the shins of Joel Marr over the line for a boundary throw-in adjacent to the Darley coach's box here this afternoon. It's just whether they can sustain that pressure, Darley. That's their greatest challenge. Good enough for long enough, the old adage. Chance here. Over the back of that stoppage for East Points, they negotiate through hand to Fraser. Dropped it. Umpire pinged him for it too. Umpire called play on as the party hacked the ball forward. Pressure on here. Ball at ground level. Neither side can gather here.
Goal.
Chance here. Something out of nothing for the Devils.
Murley, I reckon. Murley.
Cooper Murley. That might even be his second for the afternoon. I think he might have kicked one of the under-19s. So Murley, plucked out of obscurity from the under-19s, has kicked his first. And Darley get their fourth. And a 12-point lead here at Darley Park.
Hard to see from this far away. Todd, he was either Murley or Dylan Bishop anyway. But
no, you're correct. Murley, number 23.
So coming about the Devils.
So's the sun. And every car that came in today has got it in for us here on Apple 98.5 FM. Back in the middle of the ground here. Darley lead by 12 points. Van Meel's second effort was okay. 10's here for Matty Johnson. Had a couple of touches in the last couple of minutes. Hurries the left foot kick forward. McDougall went the tap, didn't get any purchase on the footy. Johnson went to ground, shoveled it out only as far as Brodie Ward, had to be quick, got it to Matthew Brett, conceded ground by hand to Leonard, who went short, and the kick's okay to Blake Colley. So Colley switches play, kick, got to Cousins, who got a favourable bounce. Still on the last line of defence, has got options to Brett, and Matty Brett takes the bounce. He can go to Bewley on the outside. Nice, effective hand pass. So Bewley lopes away with a second bounce. Decides to go by hand inboard to Andy Azzopardi. Got it back to Bewley. Talk about territory. He's taken it from half back to half forward. And Mitch Ward's taken a mark. Told to play on by the umpire. Onto the right boot. Sends the ball forward in the Merley direction. Poor kick. Out of bounds on the full. And a let off for East Point. And an opportunity to bring the ball back into play.
All the space in the world there, Bewley. Like you said, Todd, he's taking it from the back pocket up to the Darley coach's box there. So they need to do something about Bewley East Point. He's absolutely dominating this game.
So from the last line, East Point will negotiate across the face. Kicks okay. Chance here for Loby. Right foot kick to the outer side centre wing. Foot race on in earnest here, 2-on-2. East Point leading the race for the ball. Left foot kick across the body from Kenny. Didn't gain any real advantage. Brown knocked Young off the football. He's hurt his shoulder. The strapped up one. I don't like the look of that. Brodie Ward goes towards half back and the kick's okay, and the mark's been taken there by Andy Azzopardi. So Andy Azzopardi Young, he's all courage Young. He calls to the ball again. He's got one arm at the moment, this bloke, and he marks the ball on the chest. He can go short to Cousins, but went to Lance. So either left footer will do. Squaring kicks terrific to Azzopardi. Played on, centre wing, got around Fraser, short kicks okay. They look okay at the moment, the Devils. Cadman played on and then was tackled. Azzopardi kept running, somehow got into the play. And there's a dozen or so players around the football. Andy Azzopardi might have caught one on the umpire, let it go. Young's hurry kick went off the side of the boot towards half forward. Murphy over the football. Jack Bewley there as well. Conceding hand was Q. As the kick comes out towards half back for East Point. Eludes McDougall over the line for a boundary throw-in. So the Devils didn't quite really make the most of that. Ward with that forward 50 kick earlier, and Cadman just playing on prematurely.
Yeah, the Devils, they're still on top here. Just a couple of disposals have let them down there in that piece of play, but Lance running away with it here and looking for another inside 50 for the Devils.
Quick answer, Baker. It got it to land. He went inside 50, right on the target. Had to go the spoil. He was caught behind. Second up effort was okay. He was tackled, then taken to the ground. Hot footy on in earnest. Umpire's going to come in and effect a ball up. So the Devils, shallow entry inside 50. They've got the ball in the right half of the ground. There'll be a ball up. Sun streaming down here at Darley Park. There'll be a ball up. So Rodder will contest the ruck duel. Won that only as far as Lobig, who went by hand towards Matty Johnson on the left boot. Went looking towards Walsh. He took a nice, strong contested mark in front of Matty Brett. So Mitch Walsh runs onto the right boot. Looks to go in ball. Kick needs to be good. Kenny got some separation on Ward. Still something asked of the young fella, though. As you said there, Spence, it was a nice mark. Right foot kick inside 50. Went over the head of Building. Reading it well at the back there was Cousins, who went short by foot, looking there towards Blake Colley. How will it sit for him? The bend was okay. So too the gather. Went by the left boot. Down the ground, free kick. It's been paid after Colley was dumped. He's just a little ginger getting to his feet.
Cousins finding a lot of space across half back too, Toddy, in the last 5 minutes. He's accumulating the ball nicely.
So it's Andy Azzopardi with ball in hand. Goes into the middle of the ground. Murphy read it better as Jack Bewley is forced to wait under the ball. Jack got it back. He got the hand pass over towards Duncan Cadman, who kicked to space. Bailey Young's got a paddock. Matty Johnson closes the ground. There's that for a kick. Comes out and finds Angwin, who takes a mark on the chest. Wheels and goes onto the left. Turnover.
Another.
He went searching for land. It was well read there by East. Jack Bewley was strong there. Tackled, slung to the ground.
Ooh.
Oh, ping for holding the ball, if you don't mind. They're going to bring it back. Strong tackle there from Brown. Good play, this fella. So right foot kick from halfback. Tries to direct the traffic and then kicked it back only as far as Leonard. It went over his head. Running onto it now was Jeffrey with speed. Across the body, clever. Left foot kick. Cousins will save the day on the last line. And he took another tooth out running into the goal post, Cousins.
Plays on.
Still a better looking version than his father, that's for sure, as he runs away. That's a poor kick. He just found found Geordie Johnson squaring. Unselfish kick to Ganley, who took a mark 35 metres out from goal directly in front.
Turnover game, Toddy, this one. Obviously the high pressure is resulting in that, but you're disappointed in that one, Cousins, after he's been finding a lot of the footy and he's played on quickly there and turned it over straight away. So Harry Ganley to get East back right in it here.
So Ganley with a shot on goal. Of course, his brother went to the ovens and Murray. Left him here solo to do his thing at East Point. Let's see how the kick is. He likes it, makes no mistake. So East Point get their third goal from a third turnover inside Darley's back half. And they get back within a kick here. It's 3 goals straight, 18 East Point, who trail Darley 4 goals straight, 24. Let's go round the grounds for an update score in other games in the Ballarat League. North Ballarat 20, lead Ballarat 7. Of course, they're asleep at Melton South. Lake Windaree 13, lead Redan 10. So Ganley with his first of the afternoon. So back in the middle of the ground here. Chance here for Baker. Just went through traffic, lowered the eyes, went in the Rodder direction and got him.
Good kick.
Excellent play, good clearance, line-breaking clearance there from Baker, and found Rodder. Of course, he had to go below his knees, but that kick into the breeze and that run and carry from Baker, he's a better player when he has that opportunity to take the game on. So there must be some good communication around Baker to tell him that he
had all the space.
He had that time and space.
It was a very well weighted kick, and that's probably the difference. East, every time they seem to go inside forward 50, they're kicking it over their heads, just not allowing for the breeze. And obviously they haven't played here for a couple of years, but Darley know their ground very well.
So Rodder leans back on the kick. He likes it. The Devils like it. That's the response the Devils wanted. And they bring the lead back to 12 points. Geez, there's some straight shooting for goal going on here at Darley Park. The Devils, they're 5 straight, 30. They lead East Point 3 goals straight, 18. Rodder gets his second at Darley Park on the back of that clearance from Baker.
Yeah, well set up there from Luther Baker, the goal assist there. But yeah, they're going well, the Devils. It's probably started a bit slow, now they're right into it and right on top of East.
Back in the middle of the ground here. Centre clearance, all important. Ball at ground level. Neither side can gain any clearance there. Bit of push and shove. No doubt some feeling will continue to creep into this game, Spence, as the game goes on. Van Meer with the tap went searching for Taylor. He just tried to knock it forward. Bewley, somehow it ended up in his hands with the non-preferred hands. Got it to Land. Got it to Young, who ran to space and then lowered the eyes and found Angwin. So Angwin reels onto the left boot. He can be a penetrating kick. If he goes in the Rodder direction, couldn't take the mark. Chucked at ground level by Bishop. His kick was smothered. Second effort okay as he gathered. He was tackled and taken to the ground. And the umpire says, I'll have it. There'll be a ball up. 25 metres around from the Darley goal.
Bailey Young's disposal going inside forward 50 has been superb, Toddy. That's the second in the last couple of minutes that he's laced out Trent Angwin.
Van Meer with the fly, won the tap, hacked it out of defence at the end there, only as far as, well, Jeffries took a nice mark, defensive side of centre wing, went into the middle of the ground. The siren sounds for quarter time here at Darley Park. That quarter going, well, the best part of 29 minutes in the end. And it's Darley who lead, 5 goals straight, 30. Into the breeze in that term to East Point, 3 goals straight, 18. Of course, all 3 of East's goals coming on the back of turnover, Spence.
Yeah, exactly right. So the Devils can tidy that up, then, you know, East would have struggled to score, obviously. So 3 goals from turnovers, and they were bad turnovers too, you know, within 30 metres of goals.
It's a party broken league, but no Jackson Merritt, no Joe Dodd for East Point today. Game on. Play underway, Darley to kick to the town end. Neither ruckman could win that opening tap. Johnson with strength. Quick hands to McDougall, who just flew the ball out. Hurried kick forward from Van Meer. Got towards half forward. Good start here from East Point. Jack Jeffrey's kick went low and short towards Building. Went by hand back to Jeffrey. Couldn't gather. Darley with support. Was good work there from Leonard, who got it towards Brodie Ward. He applies the tackle and pinged, and the youngster will get a free kick and an opportunity to amend that errant hand pass. So a noted left footer will favour that kick. That's a ripper. Fantastic. Andy has a party on half-back. Turned and go. Nearly ran into trouble. Forced to go lateral in the end. A Bailey Young on half-back who's been good. Presenting, Jack Bewley ignored. Decides to go back inboard. Tough kick. Lahure put him under the pump, got shoveled off the footy. Matty Brett was there to save the day. Have a look at that for a kick. Hit Dylan Lant on members' side, centre wing. Baker presented. Probably should have went there, but went low. Found Cadman on half forward. Members' side. Got Mitch Ward short. Went the longer option. At the back there, Murley. Before the ball rolls over the line for a boundary throw-in. Mitch Ward a bit disappointed not being taken up on the option there from Cadman. He was out there, Mitch. Just pushed forward all on his own, ignored. Boundary throwing in front of the East Point coach's box. Darley into attack. Johnson through traffic. Tackle by Bewley. Ping, holding the ball. And Brett Bewley from 50. Just as Matty Johnson had started well in the opening minute with a couple of touches. Now Jack Bewley, Brett Bewley with ball in hand from 50. Turns on to the left. And kicks the ball to the top of the goal square. Angwin's got 2 to beat. Didn't touch the ball in the end and stumped through by Ryan Walsh. Through for a minor score. So Angwin just getting lost under that footy. And the Devils' first minor score of the afternoon. 5-1 plays 3-1. Darley lead. They kick with the aid of a slight breeze that's a little bit more pronounced when you're out on the ground. Lobig brings the ball back into play. Oh, that's a free kick. Unrealistic effort. It's going to go against East Point. It's going to go against Matty Johnson. It's going to go the Devils' way. And it's Matty Brett with ball in hand. So he'll weigh up the options. And he'll squaring kick. Rodder's got a chance to set himself. Went under the footy, tough with the breeze. And conceding another behind there was Murphy playing it safe. So Darley 5-2-32. Lead East Point 3-1-19. So just the 2 behinds from their early entry in the early minutes of this second term here at Darley Park. So to bring the ball back into play. It's a high kick into the middle of the ground. Good use of the body there from Lobig on Ward, but he couldn't mark. Ball at ground level. Lobig just shovels it out. Umpires picked out a free kick for a hold. It's going to go to Lobig for holding the man, but it was actually he who disposed of the footy. So
50
against Bewley for dissent. So Bewley just needs to just say nothing really, just cop it, even though he disagrees with it, because Lobig's going to be taken all the way up to half forward. Well, it was a pretty ordinary 50 in the end. Lobig just runs around Bewley. Now has a pot shot at the goal. Tell you what, that's not a bad effort into the breeze. He's got it. And Lobig gets his first. Off half back, the defender. And narrows the margin to 7 points. Darley 5-2-32, lead East Point 4-1-25. Spence.
Quality finish into the breeze there from Cam Lobig, obviously from the 50-metre penalty. So their 4th goal, the 3 from turnovers and then the 1 from the 50-metre penalty. So a good finish from the half-back flanker.
Back in the middle of the ground here. East Point to be happy with that start. Their only entry for the term in the opening minutes in a resultant goal. Tap won by Tanner. Baker through traffic was good. Hand pass was hot for Young. Hand pass had to be good. Fumbled there by Lahure, but was up to it. He gave it to Young, who kept running. Right foot kick to the forward pocket, looking towards Angwin. How will it sit for the big fella? Clean bowled him. They got numbers back here, East Point. And they negotiate through Howard, who got it to Lobig. He just kicked the goal. With his left foot kick, goes in the Mar direction. Brody Ward in front, couldn't take the mark off hands over the line for a boundary throw-in. On half-forward members' side of the ground for Darley.
Luther Baker found space again in the middle there, Toddy, so he's breaking away from the clearances nicely for the Devils.
Boundary throw-in. Tanner in front, Van Mill at the back. Ball spills out the back. Chance here for East Point to negotiate their way out of defence. Q keeps running. Hand pass was okay. Back towards, might have been Toolman there. Short chip kick was okay because Kenny's got some space and can run and kick to half forward. Murphy the target. Lahure missed body and ball. Murphy was allowed to go by hand. Got it to the dangerous Jeffrey. He kicked it over the top looking near towards Johnson. Took a clever mark running back with the flight of the ball just inside the boundary line. Just good awareness, Johnson. Good agility and dexterity to be able to turn and still know where the ball was in the air.
And it was a good kick by Jeffrey too. He could have blazed away and probably had a shot on goal from 45 out, but he saw Johnston and went that option.
Probably the only player on the ground that could kick this as he set sail for the judge. Don't tell me. Oh, he's hit the post. That would have been goal of the year. 40 metres into the breeze. Banana kick, if you don't mind. But, well, he is human because we've just seen that. He's hit the post. So we'll call that a let-off because every time Johnson gets the ball in the hands, he's pretty dangerous. So the ball to come back into play. It's a long left foot kick out of defence. Angle on the target, couldn't take the mark, went through his hands. Chance here for McDougall over the football. Hustled there by Jack Bewley. Kept it in though, McDougall did well. Knocked off the football there was Murphy by Angwin. And there'll be a boundary throw in. True centre wing out of side of the ground here.
And they probably gained 100 metres from the kick in there, Toddy, at least, so it was good by the Devils.
Boundary throw in. Tanner at the back. Tap one by Van Meal. McDougall at ground level. Bailed up. Now will the umpire negotiate? Well, Johnson was tackled by Lant in the end. Managed to get boot to ball. Ward couldn't keep the ball in front of him. Opportunity here for it was Canny who thought he was held without it. Johnson tried to keep the ball in, but he couldn't. So the ball goes over the line for a boundary throw in on half forward for East Point, out of side of the ground. So the reigning dual premiers pressing in this second quarter. The breeze seems to have subsided somewhat. Tap one by Tanner, knocked it in front of himself. Looking there towards McDougall. Ball spills free. Hack forward here for the Devils. Chance to Bishop. Blind turn was terrific away from Brown. Got it to Joel Cadman. High up and under kick to an open forward line.
Gardner.
Rodder. Will he get a set? Will he get a good bounce? Tap was terrific there from Rodder to Murley to Gardner. He can run into an open goal here, the youngster, and he's put it through. Confidence builder for the young gun.
He's got in the game now, Mitch Gardner. He needed that goal, and he'll be up and about, the young fella from the under-17s for Darley.
And clever play there from Rodder to tap it to young Gardner. And Gardner finishes it off and puts it through.
Yeah, good footy smarts from Nick Rodder there, Toddy.
Yeah, and well done by Gardner for taking on the tackler and then steadying and finishing. While it seemed like a simple open goal, the finish was made look easier beyond his years. So well done to Mitch Gardner, gets his first. Back in the middle of the ground here. Tanner with the better fly. Just missed the contact by hand. Johnson through traffic. Hand pass was good to McDougall. Tackle taken to the ground. And penalised was Darley. It'll go against Lant. And Matty Johnson wanted the advantage. Ended up being a disadvantage for his team as Bewley ended up with it. Speak of Brett, who got it to Matthew Brett. And his kick was hacked forward. And it's been cut off. And it's Q with ball in hand here. Took on the would-be tackler, got around him. It was Rungy. Kick to half forward. Players set themselves. Ball at ground level. There's a free kick here. It's going to go to Matty Brett. I think he's copped a heavy one in the back. And the ever-reliable defender will go short again and chips it to the advantage of Brodie Ward, who ran on, might have been cousins, but either way, they've got blonde hair and they stand out there on the left foot as Mitch Ward ends up receiving that kick from Brett Bewley. The kick from Mitch Ward's good to Duncan Cabin, who runs to half forward, just tries to chip it over the top to Rungy. And the debutant's taking a mark. So Rungy, who looked in amidst all of those players lost in the wash, just stretched his hands out and he's taken a nice mark on debut, and Rungy will go back and have a shot from about 40 out directly in front.
Duncan Cabin with the inside 50 there. Once again, the Devils have just picked the short option, going inside 50 rather than blazing away, and it's worked out well.
So let's see how he goes here. Rungy leans back on the kick, off to the right for a minor score. Gee, that would have brought the house down. That would have been the third youngster of the Devils today to register a major. But a let-off for East Point. Score here at Darley Park. Darley 6-3-39, East Point 4-2-26. Goal scorers for Darley: Nick Rodder with 2, Brett Bewley 1, Murley 1, Gardner 1, Aidan Tanner 1. Whilst for East Point, individual goal scorers: Liam Canny, Geordie Johnson, Harry Ganley and Cam Lobick. So it will be Lobick, the last goal kicker for East Point, to bring the ball back into play. Plays on, penetrating kick towards half back. Reading it well there. Well was Geordie Johnson, who's pushed up to half back. Umpires picked out a free kick. It's going to go to Matty Johnson. So for an infringement. So he goes short to McDougall. So I think McDougall's filling the void of Rodder Baronis, who I think is injured and off the ground. So just haven't seen him at all for a long period of time. Just get the binoculars on the bench. As Taylor goes short, kicks okay, finds Fraser on half forward. Still a couple of kicks away from East Point's goal here, the youngster. Keeps the kick low. Darley have got numbers here. Could have been held there. Cousins in front. Umpire let it go. McDougall through traffic. Kick was smothered. Bit of a stacks on the middle. The umpire says, I'll have it. There'll be a ball up. On half forward, outer side of the ground for East Point. Darley 6-3-39, lead East Point 4-2-26. 11 minutes gone, second term.
Rodder Baronis has taken a seat over there on the bench, Toddy, so I'm not sure what's going on over there.
Ball gets knocked to the advantage of Fraser. He's slung there by Young. Clever tap from Taylor. Found Matty Johnson, who grubbed a kick to half forward. Chance here for the Devils through Ward. The hand pass was good to Lahurain. Now this kick needs to be good to Azapati, who took a mark. That's nearly 50 metres. Oh, he's played holding the ball and told to play on.
Oh, my goodness.
Want to see that on the replay.
Matty, bro.
One of the worst decisions you'll ever see in any sport on the planet in the whole time you exist on it. As Lant on half back for the Devils keeps the kick low to Bewley. Speak of Brett, who marks in front of Fraser. Look at the power running of Lant. Look at that. I mean, Matty Johnson didn't do anything wrong there. He just kept running with Lant, but just that power running. He'd be lucky to have the energy to kick this, Lant. But anyway, he's on half forward, out of sight of the ground. So Lant with ball in hand. Goes to a crowded forward line. Rodder at the back, couldn't take the mark. Bewley's on his left. He can kick across the body here. Cut off there by Q. Last line of the fence, didn't get enough penetration on the kick. Risky kick. Favoured Ganley in the end. Led off here for East Point. Kick from Ganley was made hard to gain there by Murphy. Searching hand pass. Got it to Jeffrey. He's pushed up. Tumbling kick to only as far as half back. They've got numbers here, Darley. Searching hand pass into the middle of the ground. Found Baker. High up and under kick. Poor kick. Oh, Brown dropped what he normally would take. Tackled there by Rodder. Quick hands.
What's on here?
And sticking the boot out there was Brown. You wouldn't want to see that on the video as the kick goes towards Hart, and rightly so. Chance here for Van Meal, who's tackled. Quick shovel hand pass there from Lee. Got it to Joel Cadman. Right foot kicks. Put Bewley under the pump here. Brown couldn't quite take the mark. Can he keep it in? He can at the moment. Young was strong. And Ganley kept his feet, rewarded for that. Gave it back to Brown. Now he's got time to measure the kick, but it's been cut off there by Tanner. Fumbling attempt at the mark, couldn't take it. Tumbling kick forward. Call that a territory kick. Somehow it stayed in. Angwin over the foot. He gathered. He's on his non-preferred. Hand pass inboard to Bewley. Shrug the tackle. Kick across the body. And he's missed. Wow.
Bit of fire coming into this one now, Toddy. It's good to see.
6-4-40 Darley. Lead East Point 4-2-26. 14-point ball game here at Darley Park. Gee, they're just those goals that just really lift the group and the crowd, you know, across the body, 25 metres out as the ball comes back into play from Lobig. The kick's good to Ganley, who gave it back to Lobig, who kept running. Went to the member side half back. Nice overhead mark taken there by Easton B. Toolman. Goes short with the kick. Had to be risky. No one really touched the foot. He allowed Maher into the contest. His hand pass was loose. Put Toolman under the pump. Ball went to ground. And it's going to be a ball up. Attacking side of the centre of the ground for Darley. Ball up. Tanner somehow won the tap. Searching hand pass over the head of Taylor. Somehow he got the ball back, and then his loose hand pass was thumped back in the Darley direction towards half forward. Van Meal, the big fella, trying to gain possession. Went to ground. All of a sudden out of the contest. Good work there by East Point to shovel it out to Lobig. Umpire's made a throw. And it's going to go to Darley. Rodder Baronis back on the ground. When I say on the ground, I mean on the field. Spent a bit of time on the bench. As a party, got the ball back in the hand.
Young.
Sends the ball forward. Young and Fraser going at it. And Young, strange name you want to be taking on there, Young. Of course, Fraser's Christian name is Joe as he plays on. Hand pass over to Bewley. Penetrating kick. It's all East Point. And they'll get back and save the day with a right foot kick towards Brown. So Brown with ball in hand. Can go back to Ganley.
50 again.
That was for not standing, that one, against the youngster. So third or fourth 50-metre penalty against the Devils today. As Brown lowers the eyes, kicks to a vacant half forward. That's a terrific kick. The mark's been taken there by Taylor. So Taylor with ball in hand can go to the pocket. Ignores that option. So he's on centre half forward here. Going to have a crack at goal here, Taylor. Duffs the kick like one of my chips on a Sunday. Fairdick kicked it straight to the man on the mark, and as a party's kick had been turned over. An opportunity here for East Point to negotiate to half forward.
Taylor again, I reckon.
Taylor's got it back, an opportunity to amend. Goes short, kicks okay. Like it might be Toolman over there. They're just a mile away from us. So he runs around onto the right boot. High kick to the top of the goal square. Off hands. Who's waiting down? Brown. Young's one of those for Darley. Concedes by hand. And then Cousins rushes it through for a behind. So the Devils will get out of trouble here. And it'll be Bewley with a penetrating kick into the middle of the ground. Rodder sets himself, has the ball punched away from him from Walsh, who's at ground level. Rodder Moronis is one of those. Hand pass found. Fraser, tackle taken to the ground, holding the ball. And Bailey Young will take that resultant free kick. And presenting in the middle of the ground there was Bishop. But Young goes wide to Cadman, who's got time to regather and measure the kick here. Just lops it over the top to Bishop. Dropped what he should have taken. Bewley just roved it beautifully. Went out wide there towards Rodder. Kicked it to the wrong side of him. Walsh did well to stay boundary side.
Non-officiating umpire's paid another free.
A free kick against Rodder. Wow. As Lobig will let that go. Goes to the right out in front of the East Point coach's box. The mark's been taken there by Matty Johnson. So he'll go short, back to Lobig as no options present. He's got Brown in the pocket here, but Rodder Moronis gathers inside the defensive 50. Right foot kick to half back. Brown takes an uncontested mark at the end. Can go inboard. Decided to ignore that option, and that's a nice kick into the breeze. The mark's been taken there by McDougall, I think it is. No, it's Bilney who's pushed up. So Bilney on centre wing, out of the side of the ground. Right foot kick to the attacking 50. Oh, there's the fly! One of the marks of the day, and they're into it. But a couple of players not real happy with that, as Geordie Johnson's taken mark of the day again. And so Geordie Johnson from 60 metres out. Right foot kick, squaring kick to the teeth, across the face of goal. The pressure's gone up here at Darley Park. They're in from everywhere, and there'll be a ball up 35 metres out from the East Point goal. Geordie Johnson, he's just good for a hanger a week, isn't he?
That's a fair grab, that one.
So one half forward here for East Point. Into the breeze in this second term. There's the ball up, tap one by Van Meel. Through traffic, ball spews out towards the top of the square. There's a mark taken there by Johnson.
He's a serious player, this fella.
He is a serious player. That's a good way to describe it. Contested mark taken there on Cousins. He'll go back and have a shot directly in front to kick his second of the afternoon as we near the 19-minute mark of this second term. Darley 40, lead East Point 27, with a kick on goal to come. Bread and butter stuff for a player of this ilk. Set sail.
Missed it.
And he's missed. You'd reckon with the sounds of the car horns that went through the middle, but just had to remember where we were for a moment. So it'll be Cousins to bring the ball back into play. Let's just hope the umpires let this game go, because we've got a good game of footy on. So it'll be Cousins to bring the ball back in. Weighs up the options, decides to go by hand. There's the chip kick there from Leonard, who was knocked off balance as he kicked. Matty Johnson just letting him know who he is. Matty Brett's kick goes towards member side centre wing. Chance here for Young. Goes by hand, looking there towards Murley. He couldn't gather the footy. A few youngsters in amongst it here for the Devils. Sun streaming down here on Darley Park. Bit of a stacks on the mill. And the umpire says, I'll have it, and there'll be a ball up.
A bit of fire between Matty Johnston and Darren Leonard there, Toddy. I think Matty was sticking up for his brother.
Yeah, well, I think Leonard was dumped as he kicked, so...
Yeah, exactly right.
There's the ball up. Tap one by Van Meel. A couple of Darley players colliding there. The kick from Murphy was smothered. Hurried out of the congestion there from Bewley. Got it towards half forward. Players in from everywhere. Bit of a scrappy couple of minutes as the heat goes up here at Darley Park. Right in front of the Darley faithful. There'll be a ball up. Tick over 20 minutes gone. Second term. Van Meel with the tap again. Rodemaronis does the sharking. High kick towards centre wing. Players set themselves. Ball at ground level. Sharkwell by Kenny. Inside 50. Brown the target. Terrific mark in defence. Taken there by Matty Brett. Waste no time.
And
50 metres. Oh, that's just what the boys in the back of the ute want to see up there in the forward pocket. So it's against Tom Brown.
50 or 30 metres, Tony.
Well, it's Darren Leonard with ball in hand now. So he'll go short to Brett. Kicks okay to Lant. The run and carry, always good. Left foot kick, right of the target. Could have been held down. Pie let it go. Chance here for Carson. Quick hands were okay to Q. Tackle was good. Oh, he's paid a push in the back. That's going to go against the youngster. Going to go against Murley. It's going to go to Q, who goes short on Q to Rodemaronis. So inside their defensive half, Darley lead by 12 points. Rodemaronis goes along the line. Matty Johnson, the target, couldn't take the mark. Nearly a clever effort there from Van Meel. Pushed in the back. Umpire let it go. And there'll be a ball up. They haven't had their best quarter, the men in green today. 22 and a half minutes gone. 3 minutes remain in this second term. Enough for either side to get a goal. Angwin into the ruck. Tap one by Van Meel. We've said that a bit today. Baker over the footy. Got the ball stuck in his legs. And the umpire will effect a ball up. So 3 minutes to go. Second term. Van Meel and Angwin again. Tap one by Van Meel. Just went through the hands of Bewley and Lant. Well done by Blake Colley to push his man off the ball. Brodie Ward at ground level. Keeping his feet there was Ma. He tackled. Just got away from the tackler of Azzopardi. Good pressure there from Mitch Ward. But Kenny was up to the task. He got it to Ma. Got it to Matty Johnson. Got it further afield towards Toolman. Asked questions of Mitch Walsh. Handball inboard was good. Found Matty Johnson, who made it look better than what it was. Waiting over the back there was the big fella there in brown. Squaring kick. Rodemaronis couldn't take the mark. He goes to ground. How will the umpire adjudicate? Held to him. There'll be a ball up. On half forward for East Point, pushing in the dying minutes of this second term here at Darley Park. It's the Devils who lead by 12 points.
Worked the ball all the way along the wing there, East, by hand.
Ball up, tap one by Angwin. That could be too high against Cadman. And I think that was the right call on that occasion. So it'll be the youngster Canning, who's a likely type. He'll go back and have a shot on goal for a chance to reduce this margin to 6. At the moment, it's the Devils 40 who lead East Point 28. Kenny already with a goal this afternoon. Darley led by 11 points at quarter time. They lead by 12 at the minute. And Kenny with an opportunity to get the margin back to 6 ahead of the halftime siren. Goes across the faces. He got the distance he has, but the accuracy, it's off to the left. So a couple of let-offs. Geordie Johnson with a couple of handy misses for the Devils. Each Point now 29, trail Darley 40. Back to the quarter time difference of 11 points. So it'll be Bewley who brings the ball back into play. How about that for a kick? On half back. Kick's okay. And found Mace Cousins. Told to play on by the umpire. Goes with the left boot. Beyond centre wing. Players set themselves. Bit of a 2-on-1. Who's at ground level here? It's a chance here for the Devils by hand. Need to be quick. They concede ground by hand. Through traffic. That was good work by Cadman. Speaking of Duncan. Right foot kick. Outstretched hands from Rungy's okay. So Rungy with ball in hand. Needs to get it going. Penetrating kick. Rodder and Walsh. Rodder's got it. Takes the mark, and he'll go back and have a shot on goal. How long left in this term? 1 minute to go in this second quarter. 11-point lead to Darley. They're 6-4-40 East Point, 4-5-29. Final minute here. Second term at Darley Park. Rodder for a chance at goal number 3. As the sun still influences our accuracy here at Darley Park. Rodder leans back on the kick, just pops it up with a little pitching wedge as he got it. Off to the right for a minor score. So a let off at the other end for East Point. The margin now 12. Darley 41, lead East Point 29.
Saw a lot of accurate kicking in the first quarter. Toddy, not to be the same in the second.
Yeah, good call, Spence. Darley, of course, adding 1 goal, 5 this quarter. East Point adding 1 goal, 4. So, bang on with your observations, Spence. And, of course, you can listen to Spence and myself and Fridge each and every Wednesday night from 8 o'clock, updating you with all things Ballarat football. Of course, the Presser. Popular show, growing some legs as we head into the business end of the season. So it'll be Jacob Brown. Been okay today. Right foot kick goes. Tumbling kick towards half back. Setting himself there was Clay Bilney. Couldn't take the mark. Terrific tackle. Pinged, holding the ball. It's the right call. Baker was caught out there. And Q with the right foot kick goes out in direction of Tallman. He couldn't take the mark, just pushed his Darley opponent off the footy. Quick hands to Bilney. Hurry kick went along the ground, only as far as Lovig, who's tackled, taken to the ground. Darley one holding the ball, and they're going to get it. Bit stiff there, East Point, but that decision was one of a few questionable ones for the term. So Darley, who led by 11 at quarter time, lead by 12 at the half. They're 6-5-41. East Point of 4-5-29. We'll just take a look at the goal scorers. Darley, Nick Rodder has 2. 1 each to Brett Bewley, Cooper Murley, Mitch Gardner and Aidan Tanner. Whilst for East Point,
they're still going here, Toddy. The players are still out in the ground having a bit of a scruffle.
No doubt. We'll get through these goal scorers. Liam Kenny 1, Geordie Johnson 1, Cam Lovig 1 and Harry Ganley 1. Posse watch, Bewley v Johnson. What have you got, Spence?
Yeah, it's obviously a bit hard to see here with the sun, but Bewley's had at least 20 from what I have seen, so he's on top of Johnston, but Johnston was good at the start of that second quarter. He was able to match it, but then Bewley just found a lot of space and was able to punish East Point when he did get the footy.
Okay, we'll just go around the grounds before we go to our major break. Of course, it's Darley who lead by 12 points at the half. North Ballarat lead Ballarat by 5 points. And in the other game, Lake Windaree lead Redan by 4 points. So we've got 3 beauties going on at the moment. And, of course, no score from the Melton South Sunbury game. Guys, a 10-minute break and we'll be back with all the third quarter action. It's Darley who lead East Point at Darley Park in Apple 98.5 FM's match of the round by 12 points.
That quarter was proudly sponsored by Anytime Fitness, 72 Bennett Street, Bacchus Marsh. Mention BFL Game Day on Apple 98.5 FM to receive 50% off your joining fee, plus a free towel and water bottle.
This broadcast of BFL Game Day is proudly sponsored by Western Screens, Blinds and Awnings, 35A Griffith Street, Bacchus Marsh. Phone 5370 1478.
HFT Water Solutions, where your waste is our solution. Proud sponsor of BFL Game Day.
Darley lead by 12 points. Play underway here. Tap one by Van Meel. Lovig was good at ground level. Quick hands to Rodder Moronis, who went back into the middle of the ground. Searching hand pass meant for Van Meel. Stolen by Lant. Set the ball forward inside 50. Bouncing ball. How will it set? Chance here for... that's an excellent tackle. Good pressure on the footy there by the Devils. But the umpire says, I'll have it. Oh, he's paid a free kick. Has he? No, he's just asking him to get out of the way. Good tackle there from Rungy. There's the ball up. Ball at ground level. Nearly an infringement there against Darley. Umpire let it go. Before again, another stacks on the mill. And there'll be another ball up. Big cheerio going out to Marty Dunn, and he's tuning in this afternoon about 3 metres away from us. There's the ball up. Tap won by Rodder. Ball at ground level through traffic. Rodder Moronis. He's got an important role to play in this second half. Ward the fly. Walsh at the back. Ward went to ground. Mitch Walsh kept his feet. Well, the players came in from everywhere to affect the stoppage on centre wing. Member side of the ground. And Mitch Ward just letting Walsh know that he wasn't happy with that. So they continue to remonstrate as play continues through the middle of the ground. Plenty of feel in this game. Of course, East Point choosing not to take full advantage of these wonderful facilities here at Darley Park at half-time, electing to stay out on the ground. First team to do that this year. There's the ball up. Just getting a bit of sun here that they're probably not used to up there in the west. Jacob Brown with the clearance, high up and under kick. Excellent ball there from Ward. Ball at ground level. Baker in there. Might have infringed. Umpire called play on. Ward's tumbling kick. Went to half forward. Meant for Jack Bewley. His tackle was good. Turnover opportunity for Baker, who just sat it up. Bewley nearly took mark of the year, but went to ground. Plays in from everywhere. Whistle imminent. And there'll be a ball up on half forward. So it was that classic chip there from Baker, obviously in two minds whether to go. He's just pulled out on the kick at the end. And we can't blame him for searching for the players like Bewley as the ball spills out here. Opportunity, kick across the body, high up and under kick there from Cadman. Angwin in front, couldn't take the mark. Back onto his left foot. High up and under kick. Rodder tries to use the body on body against Ryan Walsh. Before Rodder gathers and carries the ball over the line for a boundary throw in adjacent to the behind post.
Kept his feet there, Angwin. He got rewarded by getting the disposal there, and he looked for Rodder to outmuscle his opponent, but didn't quite go that way.
Boundary throw in. Devils into attack. Into the breeze. Angwin won that tap, knocked it forward. Cadman tackled, taken to the ground. And the umpire says, I'll have it. And there'll be a ball up. Sam Q, one of those, applying the pressure in the back half. So both sides have been under the pump today. Tap won by Van Meel. Clever. Got it towards boundary side. Looking there towards Matty Johnson. Couldn't gather. Rodder Moronis with strength. Might have been legged. Umpire let it go. Cadman kick across the body. Jack Bewley's got it. Umpire call play on. Opportunity here for the Devils. Yep. Kick across the body. He got it. Bewley's got 2 goals on his non-preferred for the afternoon. That'd be 2 on his non-preferred for the year if you don't mind. The Devils get the first of the third quarter and they extend to an 18-point lead here at Darley Park.
Yeah, another classy finish on the opposite foot there from Bewley, but repeat stoppages again at the start of the third quarter, and Darley are able to break away through their mids in Baker and Bewley and Lance. So this Rodder Moronis has had a couple of disposals early, so he's got himself into the game and a couple of tackles as well. We know he's got such a physical prowess about him, and he's going to be important for East in the second half if they're any chance of winning here.
Sunbury led Melton South by 7 goals at half-time. So here's the ball up. Darley lead by 18. Into the breeze. Baker, quick hands. Got it to Land on his non-preferred. High up and under right foot kick. Young was strong against Lovig. Took a nice overhead. So he goes inside with the right boot. Right of the target. Sets himself. Held without it. But Bewley's got it again. I speak of Jack. And they're going to pay this one. He's going to go back and have a shot on goal from about 50 metres. So we're getting some Darwin weather of our own here at Darley Park today, minus the heat. Of course, the sun just providing the light, / in our eyes. There's Jack Bewley. It'll be all about distance here. We'll set sail for the judge. It's not a bad attempt as it comes back, and Jack Bewley replicates his brother's goal from a couple of minutes previous. And the Devils get the opening 2 goals of the third term and extend here. 8-5-53. They lead East Point 4-5-29.
Good finish there from Jack Bewley into the breeze, albeit he was directly in front. Not too far out, but it's a good finish, kicking into the teeth of the wind there. So quality goal and a good start to the quarter for the Devils.
Been okay with a handful of tackles too, Bewley, today. Jack, but back in the middle of the ground. Tap, won by Tanner. Baker, searching hand pass, found Bewley. Onto the left, said that a bit this year. Left foot kick, Cadman, strength, takes a mark. Speak of Joel. There's enough brothers going around here this afternoon. The Cadmans, the Wards. It's a kick. The Bewleys. Here's the parties, -1. Ball at ground level, speak of the Devil, Andy. Nearly infringed. There's some tackle pressure from the Devils front half. Taking a ground, umpire says, I'll have it. Despite the wanted need from the boys in the back of the ute, the umpire says, ball up. Tap one by Tanner, only as far as Rodamaronis, and they clear out of the congestion. High kick towards centre wing. Brett in front. Mitch Walsh at the back went the spoil. Both sides run out of time and space over the line boundary. Throwing true centre wing, members side of the ground. And strangely, more effective scoring coming into the breeze this afternoon. Of course, the breeze favouring the forward pocket. That 5-star pigeon shed. That's where the breezes go. Rodamaronis has lifted his game. Look at him through traffic. Right foot kick. Goes in the Johnson direction. Leonard at the back. Every bit of experience has taken a terrific mark. Plays on. Hand pass to Cousins, who runs onto his left side. Kick to Jack Bewley's okay on half-back. Confidence after he kicked that last goal can go to Bailey Young, but he goes to the longer option. Somehow it ends up in Bailey Young's head. Joel Cabin needs to be strong here. Went to the voice that wasn't there in the end. Just hearing voices, really. Chance here for Van Meel. Squarey kicking in the middle of the ground had to be good and found Bilney. He played on. Got it to Rodamaronis. Been good in this last 20 minutes of the game, but the kick lets him down. Went searching for McDougall. It's been cut off by Matty Brett. Switches play to members' side to the defensive 50. And he has a party, takes a mark. So he comes back in board to Baker. The kick's okay. So Baker lowers it. That's a terrific kick. And Rungy on debut. Goes short. Went looking for the pencil. Couldn't take the mark. Umpires picked out a free kick, but running away with the advantage was Brett Bewley. Left foot kick towards Angwin. Couldn't take the mark. Bailey Young gathers. Went to the hand, had it smothered and intercepted. Clearing kick out of the fence, an old-fashioned torp. Baker got plenty of it. Couldn't hang on to it long enough according to the umpire. Ball at ground level. Held without it there with the Devils, but not paid. Cadman goes wide in the Rodder direction. Into the shade, couldn't gather. Close up against the boundary line. The big fella's agility on show here. Kick across the body. Goes in the Jack Bewley direction. Angwin there too for the Devils. Lant goes crashing through. Knocks it to his advantage. Might have been caught. Well, he was. How did the umpire adjudicate? Too high, says the man in the middle. And I speak of the umpire in the middle of the ground has picked out that free kick. And it's going to go to Lant. And he'll go back and have a shot on goal. 25 to 30 metres out on a slight angle.
Seen a bit of that today, Toddy. The non-adjudicating umpire paying a free kick. Obviously, you can see it from a different angle, but Darley get a shot on goal as a result. So
Lant, he's kicked 9 goals for the Devils in a handful of games this year. He's crucial to their chances. If they've got any ambition of making finals or at least winning one, Lant has to be there. So he'll shoot here from about 25. Kick bends back. The crowd like it. The men in the ute like it. The players on the ground like it. Darley get 3 unanswered goals in this third term and some separation and game high lead on the scoreboard. The Devils, they're now 9-5-59. They lead East Point 4-5-29. 30-point lead to the Devils.
Good finish from Lant there, showing his class. The Eston VFL is the player, and like you said, Toddy, Darley probably need him in the side if they're going to continue to press on in 2022, but gee, he couldn't be far off another call-up from the Eston VFL side, I wouldn't think.
Well, he went to a wedding last week. That didn't help his chances in preparation, but benefited Darley. Back in the middle, tap one by Van Meel and Matty Johnson. As soon as he gathered, he was tackled and bailed up by Brett Bewley, and the umpire says, I'll have it, and there'll be a ball up. So to be Tanner. Van Meel won that tap only as far as that man I spoke of, Lant. His high kick onto the non-preferred only ended up in the hands of Johnson. Right foot kick forward to the defence. Matty Brett went to the voice of Cousins. He's a left footer. He's on his right side. Just turned Mitch Walsh inside out. Went short with the left foot kick. And the kick's okay to Duncan Cadman. Matty Brett tells him to give us the hand pass as he obliged and went to Matty Brett. Ordinary kick, just kept inside there by Young. Searching hand pass. Probably could have done with that out of bounds, the Devils, as Rodamaronis does the mobbing up. Chance here for Loeb. It might have been Ganley on the left foot. The kick's good and found Marr. On half forward. Plays on. Hand pass to Matty Johnson from 49. Tumbling kick went meant for his brother. clean bowled him and Cousins and went over the line for a boundary throw-in some 35 metres around from the East Point goal.
Another poor entry there from East. So we're disappointed a few times this quarter already. They've gone inside forward 50 and failed to hit a target. So they're not able to capitalise using the wind again in the third quarter.
There's the throw-in. Tanner at the back, Van Neal in front. Just a snap out of nowhere.
Oh.
If you don't mind a bar.
Could be touch, Toddy.
It's the goal umpire and the central umpire going to decide here.
Might have to go upstairs, I think.
And the boundary umpire's coming in onto it. I'll just ask somebody over the fence.
Oh.
Touched. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank God for that, because that would have ended up in the highlights and I didn't have a name to the player. So a let-off for the Devils, but it would have been something out of nothing for East Point. So it'll be Brett Bewley with ball in hand now. He'll weigh up the options. He'll go members side with that all familiar penetrating left foot kicks a 2-on-1 here. Tanner was terrific in that contest to win that. He did well, the big fella. Played on, gave it, well, went to give it to Bewley and then gave us all the dummy and went by foot himself to Rodder. Second grab, third grab, paid the mark in the end. Right in front of the Darley faithful. Good place to take those hangers. Right foot kick to the attacking 50 to an open forward line. Angwin might have infringed and or taken a mark, one or the other. Sharked here by the Devils. Kick across the body's been cut off. The umpire said it didn't go the required distance. Ganley went by hand to Johnson. Speak of Matty, penetrating right foot kick. Rodder Moronis got a favourable bounce as the Devils defence pressed. It allowed the East Point forwards to get over the top. McDougall, right foot kick. Walsh is at the back here, can take an uncontested mark at the top of the goal square and played on and put it through. Matty Brett was just blocked and knocked off the footy, but the umpire wasn't watching that. He was ball watching in the end, and East Point get one back.
Yeah, and set up by Rodder Moronis there, and we spoke about it at the half-time break, Toddy. He was going to be so important, and he's proven to be exactly that. And it started at the other end of the ground with Matty Johnson's stumping kick from centre half back. It probably would have gone 55 or 60 metres with the breeze there, and then Rodder Moronis was without an opponent, so they capitalised there, East, and they needed that one very much so. Yeah,
Devils just getting caught out on the press, and Matty Brett knocked off the footy, but umpire not seeing it. Darley lead by 23. Back in the middle of the ground. Tanner's tap as far as Bewley went one way, then the other. Oh, tapped as he kicked down the ground, if you don't mind. And that won't look good on the replay. And Rodder Moronis may well expect a holiday on the replay. As the Devils' Cousins wasn't Cousins, in fact.
Duncan Cadman.
It was Duncan Cadman. Welcome back from holiday, if you don't mind. Speaking of holidays, Rodder Moronis could expect one. The right foot kick goes inside 50. Ball at ground level. Chance here for Jeffries. Went to ground. Devils, Gardner, speak of him over the footy. Trying to tunnel the ball to his advantage. He gathers. He can give it to Brett Bewley. On the left. Kicks to the pocket. Angwin, unmarked. And or infringed with. No free kick paid. And the ball gets up.
Took the legs out.
And that should have been a free kick to East Point in the end there for going under the legs, but the umpire didn't see that either. So, boundary throwing on half forward, members side of the ground for Darley. There's the throw in. Cadman, speak of Joel. Right foot kick to the top of the goal square. Rodder's got two to beat. The spoil wins out. Numbers prevail. Who's at ground level? Lobig was one of them. They negotiate by hand to Ganley, but his kick's been cut off on the defensive 50-metre line by Brett Bewley. So, not sure whether it's just clubs who have review, but even the meeting Green can do with a review today. That's Brett Bewley with ball in hand. Some 55 metres out into the breeze. Gets plenty of it. Gets to the top of the square. Angling the target. Couldn't nearly take the mark, but his hand pass meant for Mitch Ward. Didn't get through the traffic. Ball at ground level. Cadman says hurry kick as the party cop one over the shoulder, but the umpire let it go. And there'll be a ball up 20 metres out from the Darley goal.
Yeah, a couple of non-decisions there, Toddy, but Darley got it locked inside their forward 50, so they'll be looking for another goal here.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that. How they can negotiate here. There's a swarm of players. Bees to a honeypot deep into the Devils' attack. The fly was Tom Brown. Darley wanted a free kick. but they didn't get it. The ball gets hurried out in the direction of Canning. Mitch Ward and Ward did well. Quick hands inboard to Young. He was bailed up and thrown to the ground. Turnover opportunity. Baker's tackle was terrific, but hand pass got free. Tanner dropped the diving catch in the slips, but his follow-up work, he might have caught one over the shoulder. The umpire let it go. Mitch Walsh gathered the footy, tackled, taken on the ground. The umpire says, I'll have it. And there'll be a ball up on outer side centre wing.
Oh, another umpire's blowing the whistle.
It's going to be another free kick to East Point. Matty Johnson runs away. Right foot kick. Goes in the direction of Geordie Johnson. Over the back. Foot race on in earnest. We've got Lahure and Joel Cadman. And Jacob Brown went to ground, and Lahure's got time to gather, and the kick's poor. Cut off by Canning, and he'll go back and have a shot on goal for a chance to kick East Point's 4th goal from a defensive Darley half turnover. They've only kicked 5 for the match. And potentially 4 of them have been handed to them by the Darley defence. Devils 59, lead East Point 36. We've been playing near 17 minutes final term. Third term, sorry.
Got a good view of this one here, Toddy. Liam Canny going back to put through his 2nd goal of the day.
So it's Canny. It's a handy option forward. Set sail.
Got it.
Makes no mistake. That's the one that East Point were after. East Point get their 6th of the afternoon. They're 6-6-42. They trail Darley 9-5-59 to stay within 17 points here at Darley Park.
He's proven a good young player, Liam Canny. He's come into the senior side. He's in the under-19s last year, his first year out of the unders, and he played some senior footy last year, but now he's become a full-time senior player just about, Toddy.
Yeah, handy type. Back in the middle of the ground here. Tap one by Brown, who's gone into the ruck. Quick answer. Baker got it to Bewley. Left foot kick across the body. Didn't travel the required distance. Umpire called play on. Just leg braked Thomas Brown. Through traffic went Marr. Hand pass was intercepted there by Lant. Marr's follow-up work was good. He got it to McDougall, who's tackled on, barred up by Bewley. Yep. Tackled, taken to the ground. Holding the ball, said the umpire. And it's the Devils. Through Brett Bewley. Left foot kick, lowers the eyes on the rodder, comes out, takes a mark on the chest, on the lead, 60 metres out from goal. Open forward line, Bailey Young wants into the fat side, it's been ignored. And the league's leading goal kicker is going to go back and give it his best. Into the breeze, plays on. Now he goes to the fat side, Young at the back, has he got it?
Who's he paid it to?
Oh, the man in front, it's going to go to East Point.
Fair enough. No Angwin down there in that forward 50 for the time being, Toddy, so that's why Rodder had to sort of hold it up a bit.
So the short kick out of defence is okay to Q, who goes back to the goal square. To Brown, who goes... They're not really out of trouble yet at all, but they're a mile away from us. Kick inboard to Ganley's okay. Inside their defensive 50 here, the Kangas. Still... It's been a good press here from Darley, denying them forward. That's a terrific kick to Matty Johnson, who marked on the boundary line. On half-back, just inside the boundary line for the Kangas. Right foot kick is okay to Marr, who marks in front of Mitch Ward. Kicks it backwards to Lobig on half-back. Just ran around the would-be tackler and went into the middle of the ground. Thomas Brown, he's got a...
Jeffrey's out.
Got some separation on Lahure. Took his time and then turned and wheeled and go. Johnson, the target, Leonard in front, 3
Jeffrey.
Up, 1 down. They got numbers here. East Point. Jeffrey's one of those, can run around, kick across the body and a goal. The Devils' defence, while intentions were good, made a meal of it. The Jeffreys gets a goal.
Yeah, they had 3 or 4 fly then, the Devils, and East had 2 or 3 on the ground. So Jeffrey was able to capitalise, and he just had no one running with him. He ran from just about the centre circle there, Jack Jeffrey. So a good finish from the under-19. Yeah,
one of the Devils defenders had to get fist to ball while their pressure was good. That was left wanting, and Jeffreys did the sharking and kicked the goal, and the margin is back to 11 points. East Point 48, Trail Darley 59. We've been playing 20 minutes third term. Back in the middle of the ground. Give that tap to Tanner. Knocked it goal side. Surprised one and all because there was only East Point players there. The hand pass was good there from Johnson, but the kick let him down. And the mark's been taken there by Blake Colley on centre wing. Short kick's okay. Very good, in fact, and found Joel Cadman, who presented, wasted no time to go into the Rodder direction. He sets himself, he's got it. Excellent use of the body there from the Lees, leaning forward. And Rodder will go back and have a shot on goal, 30 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, looking to stretch his lead in the total Tony Lockett Medal count here, Toddy. Nick Rodder, from a similar spot that Geordie Johnston missed from in the second term. He can probably learn from that. Geordie tried to kick it into the Darley Creek and didn't quite capitalise, but Rodder hopefully knows his home ground a bit better than Geordie.
So Rodder, from 35 metres out, distance won't be a problem. All about the accuracy.
Got it.
How dare I? Straight through the middle. Rodder gets his third here at Darley Park. And so often this afternoon, the Devils have been able to respond to that goal that East Point have been managed to get when there's been a break in play of little or no scoring, Spence.
Yeah, exactly right. It's been the story of the day for the Devils, really. They're hanging in there, and when they score, they just get it back straight away, or they make sure they get the next one. So Jack Jeffries kicked the goal, and Rodder's able to get it back pretty much straight away. So Blake Colley set that up with a nice intercept mark, and Joel Cadman and Nick Rodder, obviously.
Tom Brown with an all too familiar vertical leap, won that tap, ball at ground level, through traffic went, might have been Bewley. Shoveled the ball forward, but the rebound kick there from Ganley went inside 50. Kenny nearly took a nice mark. Nearly held there with that. It was Howard. Chance here for East on the attacking 50. Bailed up. Good tackle there from Ward on McDougall. He got a hurried kick in the direction of McDougall. Collie had to be stronger. Ball spilled free. Chance here for Cadman. Beautifully weighted kick to Mitch Gardner, who ran to the defensive 50 and took a bounce. He's got nothing much in front of him, but he backs himself. He's in trouble.
Oh,
Hands. Well, he did well to hold it off as much as he could, because he had nothing forward, the youngster. Ball at ground level. East Point have got the numbers. They'll want an infringement here. Will they get it? The umpire says no. There'll be a ball up. And Merley did well to hold it in the end. And out of side centre wing. Tap one by Angwin. Through traffic there was Taylor. But he's bailed up, and there'll be a repeat stoppage out of side centre wing.
Yeah, Mitch Gardner was a bit sore after that bump he copped. I think he might have been a bit winded. He's back up now and good to go.
Near 23 minutes gone. Mitch Ward with the spoil on the back of that Matty Johnson kick. Going to ground there was Joel Cadman. Needs to be quick here. Shoveled it out to Bewley, who got it to Lant. Right foot kick went along the line. It's been cut off there by Ganley. Squaring kick into the middle had to be good. Angwin couldn't take the mark. Went the spoil in the end. Chance here for Brown. Tackled. How will the umpire adjudicate this? Whistle imminent. Holding the ball. Mind you, there was actually the ball had spilled free, and there was another tackle put onto another player.
Oh, he's giving it to East. Hang on a second.
He's giving it to the wrong team.
I think he might be a bit wrong there, Toddy, on this occasion.
Right, there's got to be an appointment at Specsavers for this bloke as the ball goes forward. Jeffries has got it. He's taken an overhead mark 40 metres out from goal. So Jeffries will go back and have a shot from about 40 metres out. Quite a bemused, confused crowd here. And I'm not just talking about the black and white. The red, white and blue they wouldn't know what was going on either here on occasions. It's Darley 65, lead East Point 48. 24 minutes gone, third term. And Jeffries with a shot on goal here. After Angwin's holding the ball decision was actually paid against him, and he was the tackler. So Jeffries makes no mistake. How the Devils respond to this after a couple of tough decisions, well, that will be interesting. As the game, the lead, it narrows back to 11 points. Darley at 10-5-65. East Point are 8-6-54.
Good finish from Jack Jeffrey and a good grab. Blake Colley thought it might have been hands in the back, and it could well have been, but the umpire paid the mark, and Jeffrey went back and put it straight through.
So that's Jeffrey's second of the afternoon, Spence?
Yep, second goal from the under-19, so he's proven he's well and truly good enough for senior footy.
Good to see the Cobras here doing some intel on the big elimination final next week. Darley Bacchus Marsh over at Mattingley. Stick with us on Apple 98.5 FM. Land through traffic.
That one was there.
Oh, umpire's picked out a free kick. It's going to go to East Point.
That one was there, that one.
Yep, okay, I'll take your word for it. And it's the youngster, Kenny. Like this player, goes good. Middle of the ground. Goes wide. Into the Walsh direction. Spoil was good from Cousins. Ball goes to ground. And Asiata Party needs to be clean. Just throws it on the boot. Got it to the defensive 50. Quick hands out of the congestion, but good from Baker. Got it to Rodder, who's pushed up. Tunnel hand pass there from Asiata Party, made it difficult for Joel Cadman. before he's hustled over the line for a boundary throw-in. On half forward for East Point, members side of the ground. Darley lead by 11 points, near 26 minutes gone, third term. How long we got left, Vic? 2.5 minutes remain in this third quarter. Out of the congestion, East Point, hurry kick inside 50. Good use of the body there from Howard, but before he's bailed up, and the umpire says, I'll have it, and there'll be a ball up. 30 metres out from the East Point goal. So Darley led by 12 at half-time. They lead by 11 now. Umpires picked out a free kick here. Darley were away. It's against the Devils.
Against Tanner. And
it's going to go against Tanner for a block. Just needs to watch his remonstrating there.
Brown to have a shot from goal here, Toddy, I think.
So it'll be Thomas Brown who plays on by hand. And the right foot kick, there's plenty of it, goes off for the right result. 1 point. Yeah. So the Devils just need to remain disciplined whilst they've had a few decisions go against them. They need to stay on the ball or the program, whichever way you lean to. Matty Brett, right foot kick out of the fence, goes to the defensive 50. Joel Cadman, good overhead mark. So he can weigh up the options and decides to go along the line to centre wing. Angwin in front, sets himself, couldn't take the mark. Ball at ground level, Baker one of those. Copping a hard tackle there was Angwin. Pressure from Taylor. Throws the ball onto the boot for East Point. Got it to the attacking 50. Brodie Ward was ushered under the football. Neither player could touch it before it rolled over the line for a boundary throw-in. Right in front of the East Point coach's box.
Looking for another late one here, East. Need to utilise the wind here in the third quarter.
Darley 65, East Point 55. Boundary throw-in. Who's at the back? Taylor. Went without it. Ball at ground level here. We're stoppage imminent, you'd think. But who knows today? There'll be a ball up 49 metres out from the East Point goal. Couldn't be long left in this third term. 1 minute. So only really a chance for East Point to score, you'd think. There's the fly from Thomas Brown. How about that for a tap? Only as far as Ward. He was dispossessed by Marr. So too was Land. It was caught over the football. Shoveled the ball out towards Brown. Tumbling kick across the face of goal. Cousins knocks it through and denies Geordie Johnson some space and through for a minor score. So East Point closing, as they did last time these two teams met. And, of course, the way they went about it last week against North Ballarat suggests the Devils aren't safe. Matty Brett brings the ball back into play. Comes broadcast side for a change. Beautiful. How about that for a grab? Bailey Young, if you don't mind.
Yep.
So Bailey Young with ball in hand. Decides to go inboard with the short kick. Ward, Brodie had to be strong. Off the boot there from Jeffries. Fell into the hands of Marr. Right foot kick to the fat side of Geordie Johnson and Cousins.
None of them wanted it.
Chance here for Mitch Walsh. He's tackled, taken to the ground. Spewed out there by Mitch Ward. Running onto it now was Joel Cadman. A kick here will deny either side a score, you'd think, as he takes the bounce and runs away. Right foot kick along the line. Gets towards half forward. Bewley over the football. Second grab, couldn't take the mark. Ball at ground level. Here comes East Point again. Wild hand pass. Only went as far as Land. It was dispossessed. He'll be pinged, no doubt. He was by the umpire. The siren sounds to end the third term here at Darley Park, where it's the Devils 10-5-65 who lead East Point 8-8-56. Darley kicked 4 straight for the term. That's reward for accurate goal kicking. One with it in the second. We'll see how it unfolds. 30 minutes of football to go. Stick with us. Tanner won the tap. Went searching there for Baker. He went to ground.
Onus and Bewley going head-to-head again in this quarter, Toddy.
There's the tap, one by Van Meel. Rodimer Onus through traffic, shrugged the would-be tackle there of Bewley. Went to half forward, presenting well, taking a nice mark there was Canny. So he's looked dangerous across half forward. Canny sends the ball forward here. Players set themselves. It went over the head of Brett, but it fell back into his hands. He was barred up by Geordie Johnson. Umpire let it go. Ball at ground level. 50-50 ball, whistle imminent. The umpire says, I'll have it, and there will be a ball up. So East Point into attack. They trail by 9 points in the opening minute of this final term here. Dozen or so players around the ball. It'll be Van Meel who won that tap. Knocked it goal side. Building with the soccer out of nowhere. Russ gets rushed through in the end for a behind by Andy Azzopardi. Narrows the margin to 8. Opening minute. Brett Bewley to bring the ball back into play. Gets plenty of it to outer side centre wing. Lobie couldn't take the mark. Who's at the back? Leonard got a favourable bounce. Got through one tackle, then had to go by hand. Running onto it there was Young. Been good. Got it to Rungy. Back to Young, who got to 51 metres. Over the top to Collie. Chips it over the top. Jack Bewley's going to take a mark. 9 metres out from goal. So Blake Collie, a noted sort of defender winger type, just didn't back himself to finish it off, just went the unselfish option and put the onus onto Jack Bewley. He's already kicked one this afternoon. His pressure's been good while he hasn't had a bucket load of possession. His effort without the football's been good and he's presented well. So he'll shoot here. And misses. Off to the left for a minor score. Big let off there for East Point. So 10-6-66 Darley. Lead East Point 8-9-57. We're back to a 9-point ball game. Gee, those misses, they don't get lost in the wash, Spence.
No, exactly right. Nick Rodder's ensuring the Devils are set up for the kick in here, and looks like Brown or someone's going to take the kick in, but yeah, they'll be disappointed with that one. The Devils, Cully probably should have backed himself there and had a shot, but he put Bewley on a bit of a tight angle. I suppose the unselfish Devils is Dan Jordan's theme, I guess, but yeah, they'll need to capitalise here, the Devils, while it's down their end.
So Jacob Brown with ball in hand to bring the Kangas. Ball back into play. Waste no time. That's a nice exit kick to Lobig, who squared the ball towards Ma. So it's Ma with ball in hand. Not out of trouble yet. Corralling was good there from Cadman. Couldn't deny a mark at the end there from Matty Johnson. So onto the right boot he goes. Keeps spears the kick low through traffic. Mitch Ward runs onto it cleanly. Hand pass over the top. Lahure got it stationary. Was forced to go by hand to Land, who needs to be important in this final quarter, you'd think. Goes forward. Jack Bewley couldn't take the mark. Keeping his feet there was Brown. Chipped the kick. Spoil was okay at the back there from Cadman. Leonard missed him with by hand. Second effort okay. Managed to get the ball away by hand. Cadman takes on the would-be tackler. Goes to ground and the umpire says, I'll have it. And there'll be a ball up on half forward. So Rodder and Bewley, speak of Jack going to ground in that aerial contest, both okay. Tap one by Tanner, who's at ground level. Baker's one of those. Took on the tackle, but very hard to get away from the opposing number 7. I speak of Matty Johnson, and there'll be a repeat stoppage. 55 metres out from the Darley goal. Van Meal won plenty of the ball today in the aerial ruck. Rodder Moronis got it to Taylor, who got it to Toolman. Centre wing. Rodder Moronis kept running, but didn't end up influencing the play before the whistle was blown. And there'll be a ball up. True centre wing members side of the ground.
They've just been really wasteful, East, at the start of this last quarter, and it's almost been a theme of the day for them.
Ball up. Ball gets tapped to boundary side. Umpires picked out a free kick here.
Darley.
It's going to go Darley's way, much to the delight of the Devils faithful. It'll go to Brett Bewley, who wheels onto the left boot, kicks it inside 50. Leonard's forward, has the ball knocked away from him from Howard. Bailey Young ran onto the footy, kicked the ball across the body. Howard, it bounced across the face and through for a minor score.
Been real lively today, Bailey Young, Toddy.
Yeah, been good. Very good, in fact. Probably Brett Bewley and he, Darley's best two today so far. So it'll be Brown to bring the ball back into play. Goes members side to half back. Players set themselves. Angwin didn't influence the contest. Hand pass goes over the top to Rodder Moronis. The Angwin tackle. He's pinged holding the ball. And again, the faithful up and about. The 4.9 starting to have an influence over there. So it's Angwin with ball in hand. He'll lope onto the left boot. Send the ball long, deep into attack. Rodder's got a couple to beat. Brown goes to spoil.
Oh.
Running onto it there was Bewley. Dribbling shot at goal. He hits the post. Well, it was well sharked there by Bewley. Good small forward craft there shown by the youngster, but under pressure kick, just dribbles across the face and through for a minor score. So Brown again loads up for East Point, brings the ball back into play. Short kick's okay. So Matty Johnson with ball in hand now. He'll weigh up the options and go along the line with the right foot kick. And there's Angwin, is it? Taking an overhead mark. Fancy that. Beautiful. So Angwin, 65 metres out from goal. Kicks it high in the Rodder direction. Brown at the back, couldn't take the mark. Who's at ground level? Ganley's one of those for East Point. Wild hand pass. They're under the pump here, East Point. They go searching for the boundary line through Howard. He found that, and there'll be a boundary throw in 30 metres around from the Darley goal.
Yeah, Darley's pressure once again is enormous at the start of this quarter, and the question was asked at the start of the day how long they could hold it for, and they're holding it all the way up until this stage, Toddy.
There's the throw in. Rodder, no impact there. Lant, hand pass to Bewley across the body, high up and under kick. Players set themselves. Taylor with courage. Kick was touched, told to play on. Kenny caught one high, but the umpire let it go. Courage shown from both sides. Ball at ground level. And the umpire called play on, put the whistle in the mouth. But let it go. It was Taylor's hurried kick. Angwin taking another mark on the defensive side of centre wing members' side of the ground. So it just doesn't take a lot of marks for a tall big man, but he kicks the ball well long. Cousins dropped what he should have taken, put himself under some pressure. Kick went meant for Collie to take a mark on the chest. It's okay. So he plays on with the right foot kick. Goes forward. Rodder's taking a mark below the knee. Told to play on by the umpire. There'll be a ball up 25 metres out from goal. Sorry about that. Ball up, 20 metres out from the Darley goal. Tap one by Rodder through traffic. Rodder Baronis takes a bounce as he wants an option to present. Right foot kick goes along the line. At the back, Cousins. Good spoil. The safety of the boundary line. There'll be a throw in on half forward broadcast side.
Done well there, Cousins. He come from behind. Tanner did well and held his position, and then Cousins was able to spoil the ball over the boundary line for a boundary throw in.
I think Rodder was a bit stiff on that.
Yeah, very much so.
He'd like the review on that mark. I thought he took that. Tanner's tap went only as far as Mar through traffic. Tackled by Tanner was good. Hurried kick out of the congestion from Land. Went to the attacking 50. Clean bowled Q and Collie. Trying to keep it in play before he went out there was Brown. And
he didn't think it was out though.
That white line defines inbounds and out of bounds. I'm sorry.
Got to play to the whistle, Toddy.
Boundary throw in. Over the top there was Van Meel through traffic. Young hurried up and under kick. Chance here for Rodder. Sets himself. Couldn't take the mark. Collie through traffic. Across the body. He's got it. Bit of forward craft there from Blake Collie. Finishes the job off. And only speak of the goal. There's plenty more to play out here at Darley Park. But for that time spent in their front half, the Devils finally get a reward. And they kick 11th goal of the day. They're 11-8-74. They lead East Point 8-9-57. We've got a 17-point ball game.
And like it is these days, Toddy, Blake Colley's kicked the goal and gone straight to the bench.
Yeah, go and split up an orange or do something. Like a goal wasn't enough. So, Mitch Ward, another one of those having a spell. Back in the middle of the ground. Tanner and Van Meel. Give that one to Van Meel. Burton Hess grabbed it out of the ruck, went by hand towards Barr. Tackled, taken to the ground. It's good use of the body there from Young. That was strong to deny Murphy the footy. The umpires picked out a free kick. It's going to go to Murphy. So it'll be Murphy with ball in hand. Plays on to Lovig. Right foot kick from centre wings. Good. Even though it only gained about 18 metres. Barr, that hand pass was terrific. Put Lovig under the pump though. The diving tackle from Lant was enough to put some pressure on the Devils. They cut it off. So it's Matty Brett with ball in hand. Comes broadcast side. Thanks for that. Leonard the fly at the back. Couldn't take the mark. Lovig in front. Ball at ground level. 3-on-3 here. Whistle imminent. Stacks on the mill. Rugby scrum. There'll be a ball up. On the attacking side of centre wing. Outer side of the ground for East Point. It's Darley. 74, who lead East Point 57.
Need one urgently, East here, Toddy, if there any chance.
We've been playing 10 minutes, final term. Tom Brown with the tap. Through traffic. Carried over the line. There was Bewley by Matty Johnson. There'll be a boundary throw in.
They got the big guns around the footy at the moment. The Devils, Bewley, Baker, Lant.
There's the throw in. Tap one by Tanner to Young, ridden into the ground. Be a repeat stoppage. Outer side centre wing. So you think Sunbury will get it done unless Melt South did something mercurious in the second half? And the Ballarat and North Ballarat game favouring North at the moment. We get a score from those games. North Ballarat 54, Ballarat 40. There's the ball up. Centre wing out of side. Tap one by Tanner. There'll be a repeat stoppage out of side of the ground. Baker and Rodamaronis taking the ball to ground. It's been a fair game of footy this afternoon. Pressure's been good from both sides. Tap one by Tom Brown. Tunnel ball from Baker. Did well to gather it in the end. Quick hands. Found Brodie Ward. He's searching hand pass. Missed the target. They want to be good here, the Devils. Turnover opportunity. Chance of Jeffries. Kick out of the congestion. At the back. Fraser couldn't take the mark. Excellent defensive pressure. They're away here, the Devils. Matty Brett. Right foot kick to a vacant half forward line. Foot race on in earnest. Leonard leading into the race for the ball. Mitch Welsh with the pressure. Gardner lends assistance. Knocks it to the aid. Well, another 7 or 8 metres his way before it finds its way over the line for a boundary throw-in 40 metres around from the Darley goal.
Another wasteful piece of play from me, so able to get a turnover at centre forward before Darley got another turnover back, and now it's at their end.
So Brown wins that tap, only as far as Lant, just threw the ball onto the boot, gained about 40 metres through his side. Coming through there was Ryan Walsh, couldn't gather. The shark there was Mitch Gardner. Bounces off the chest of Nick Rodder and goes over the line for a boundary throw-in adjacent to the behind post. Darley's into attack here in this final term. Been playing 12 and a half minutes. Darley 74 lead, East Point 57. Stick with us on Apple FM and the Clutch app. Leonard's tap was good to Lant. Ridden, taken into the ground. Holding the man, said the umpire.
Advantage.
And the advantage has been paid. And Cooper Murley gets his second of the afternoon. While he was lucky to hit his foot, he got the job done.
Yeah, they've capitalised there, Darley. And Darley got Darren Leonard down the forward end of the ground and Trent Angwin at full back, which you don't see too much, of course. When Angwin was at the Cobras, he spent most of his time down back, but Darren Leonard down forward's a different move, Toddy.
Yeah, and his forward pressure's been good. He rarely gets beat one-on-one, Leonard. So he can bring it to ground. If there's a couple of crafty small forwards doing their bit, they can hit the scoreboard. So we're back in the middle of the ground here. Darley lead by 23 points. We've been playing 13 minutes final term. Ball up. Tap one by Brown to Taylor, who just broke the tackle of Lant and threw the ball onto the boot, went forward. And it was read well off the boot. Lahoure, he's had a fair game, Lahoure. Right foot kick goes towards half back to Young. He too been good. Right foot kick goes along the line and finds Murley, the last goal kicker. Went one way, then another. Hand pass, turnover opportunity. Just bit off more than he could chew there, Murley. Turnover, East Point ball. So they lumber away, East Point, and it's building. High up and under kick in the Geordie Johnson direction. Spoil was good from Cousins. Kenny way to the ground level. And then before it's cleared out of the back line by Brodie Ward. High up and under kick. Lovig waited under it, took a nice mark at the end. Wasted no time, playing on. Right foot kick, albeit a shallow entry. Johnson the target again, but going back there was Matty Brett. Read it well in front of the pack and took another nice mark. So he'll switch play to Bewley. So he's in the back pocket. He can put it out in front of Andy Azzopardi. He'll go the longer option. How about that? That's like watching a pro tee off with a 3-iron. As Dylan Lant with ball in hand. Out of side centre wing. Goes inboard. Needs to be good to Baker. So Baker, out of side centre wing. Went to Bewley laterally. So Bewley's got a paddock here. Takes a bounce laconically. Puts it onto the boot. Puts it out in front of Rodder. They would have done that at Williamstown a couple of times back in the day. And Rodder be just enjoying a pass hitting him on the chest. Right foot kick inside 50. Players set themselves. Leonard couldn't quite take the mark. Ball at ground level, hot footing. Umpires picked out a free kick here. And it's going to go the way of Mitch Walsh on the last line of defence. Waste no time to Matty Johnson. Takes a bounce and another. Draws Rodder. Hand pass over the top to Ganley on the defensive 50. This kick needs to be good. Tillman couldn't take it. His tap was ambitious to cue before he was bailed up, and the umpire says, I'll have it. And there'll be a ball up 49 metres away from the Darley goal.
Yeah, wasteful again, Toddy. East back line will be disappointing that. The Darley back line's been superb today. Tap one by Tanner, only as far as Ganley. His kick was smothered. It wasn't Ganley, actually. It was Taylor. And there'll be a ball up now, some 35 metres out from the Darley goal. So it'll be Tanner and Brown. Tanner won that tap. Johnson knocked it further afield. Chance here for Lant. Good protection of the ball there from Azzopardi. Lance up and under kick. Was well read off the boot. And Lovig took a nice uncontested mark again. Be good for East Point today. Short right foot kick's okay to Mitch Walsh.
Goes short again.
Q.
Finds Q. So 49 metres away from the Darley goal. He switches play to Matty Johnson. You're lucky for the breeze there because closing was Lance. So he went along the line. Chance here for McDougall. Right footer. Goes inboard. Just sidestepped as a party. Went inboard by hand. They need to be good here. Lobick weighs up the options. Onto the right boot to the attacking 50. Tallman frustrated it didn't go to him. Sharking the footy there was Tanner. They negotiate by hand here, the Devils. The lowering the eyes was good as it spat out towards Cousins, who took a bounce. Left foot kick goes towards half forward. Bewley's got Q to beat. One army went at it. Q. Ball at ground level. Q was terrific. Can he get rid of the ball? Only favours Mitch Gardner, who got it to land. He's a left footer from 40, just floats it up. Will he get a favourable bounce? Well, it went across the face through for a minor score.
Did well there, Sam Q, against Brett Bewley, but Mitch Gardner was able to get the ball and get the hands out to Land, who just missed. Very close one there.
81 Darley, East Point 57. Handy point in the old. It's out to 24 points. Jacob Brown waltzes away out of defence, goes to the members' side half back. Players set themselves. Ball spills out. They got numbers here, Darley. Leonard's hand pass was good to Young. His hand pass was cut off. Good play there from, that might have been Ganley, who got it to Marr. That's another risky kick towards Rodamaronis. No prior. The umpire will affect the ball up here. Just inside half forward. About 65, 70 metres out from the Darley goal. Gee, that short 45 kicks let East Point down more often than not this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly right. It's going to cost them in the end, I think. Toddy and Darley have adapted to the conditions, and they were a bit dirty early, but now they've cleaned up and they're right on top.
Out of that stoppage was Land across the body to half forward. Lobick again. Been arguably East Point's best.
Their best.
So he's on half back and goes short to Walsh. They won't bother the Devils too much. Goes short to Jeffries, who marks out of side centre wing. So he's looked dangerous with limited opportunities today, Jeffrey. Lowers the eyes. Short kick's okay to Marr, who runs away from Baker and then kicks the ball in towards attack. Mitch Ward on the second grab. Couldn't take the mark. Hassled out of the congestion there by Angwin. Was just a punt kick for territory more than anything else because Rodder's got two to beat. Ryan Walsh is one of those. Gives it to the release play there in Ganley, who went by foot out wide towards Thomas Brown. Oh, Young was clever to shovel the ball back between the legs to Joel Cabin, who went along the line, looking there towards the youngster there in Murley. But Gardner it was, before it bounces over the line for a boundary. Throwing on half forward, members' side of the ground for Darley.
I think they've really missed Jackson Merritt today, Toddy. They've just lacked that polish and class on the outside, East.
There's the throw-in. Tanner at the back, Brown in front. Marr at the congestion. Tanner bailed up, did well, the big fella. Managed to negotiate by hand. Over towards Cadman. High up and under kick. Brown waiting underneath the football. Read it well. And took an uncontested mark at the end on the last line of defence. So Brown with ball in hand now. It's been a try for the Kangas today too. So he lopes away. Defensive side. Short kicks okay to Ganley. So Lovey, Ganley and Brown, they've been pretty good in the back half.
And Van Meel's been good in the ruck.
Van Meel too, yep. Ball ends up into the hands of Q. Deep into the pocket. Pressure from Bishop. Along the line. The kick's okay to Johnson. Took an overhead mark just inside the boundary line. On their defensive 50. So for all of their half a dozen possessions, they really haven't gained a lot of meterage. The hand pass went to Ganley, who dummied both Ward and his own player there in Johnson. The option was good, though, because he went by foot and found McDougall. So 9 possessions for about 80 metres at the moment, East Point. Short kicks okay to Canny. And he goes wide again as they go chip to Brown. So Ward, Mitch, I speak of, finds himself on the mark again. So Thomas Brown's right foot kick to the attacking 50. Cousins, good use of the body, managed to get a fist to it. Matty Brett couldn't gather cleanly before the ball went to ground. And the umpire says, I'll have it. On East Point's attacking 50, 20 minutes gone, final term. Darley 81, lead East Point 57. Ball up. Brown won that tap. Chance here for Azapati. Hands were good. Towards Tanner, hacked the ball towards outer side centre wing, and Jacob Brown again takes the mark. Squaring kick to Ganley. So those two have been pretty good. The mark looks like Murphy on half forward. Right foot kick, no time to waste. Players set themselves. Too many up to take a mark before Angwin, who stayed down, has bailed up, and the umpire says, I'll have it, and there'll be a ball up 20 metres away from the East Point goal.
been super impressive, the Darley backline today, Toddy, led by Matty Brett down there, and since Trent Anglin's gone down there, he's holding a tight ship there, so it's going well for the Devils.
Last roll of the dice for East Point. 21 minutes gone, final term. There'll be a ball up, 15 metres out from their goal as the sunlight starts to subside a bit, giving everyone a chance over broadcast side to see what's going on. Ward does the sharking. Second grab was better, hacked it forward. Got to half back, but Brown again pressed up, took a mark, outpointed Bishop, played on, went with the right boot, across the body. Rodamaronis, the target at the back, well read there by Tanner, took a nice mark. Umpire called play on. Must have been touched. Must have been the first grab, the Rodamaronis there, to deny the pencil, the overhead.
Yeah, the man in front got first hand the ball, I think, there, Toddy.
So there'll be a ball up. Brown, with that familiar vertical leap, won that tap to Geordie Johnson, who hacked it forward about 20 metres for his side, found the safety of the boundary line. There'll be a throw in adjacent to the East Point behind post. So 22 minutes gone, final term, 5 minutes remain in this game. Darley lead by 24 points. There's the throw in. Just a sea of players around the footy at the moment, all wearing stripes, if you don't mind. Darley 24 points up, 5 minutes to go. Tap won by Brown. Went searching there towards Johnson. Needed something mercurial. Went the soccer.
Free kick, Darley.
And the umpires picked out a free kick. It's going to go to Matty Brett, who probably sneak into Darley's best today.
Yeah, you'd think so. He's been real good down back there, as have the other boys, when Cousins and Lahore, and
really shores up their defence.
He does.
They're a much better side with him in it.
Reigning best and fairest, obviously.
Yep. So Brett, normally good exponent of the drop punt, gets the ball to half back. Rodder's pushed up. Walsh couldn't take the mark. Through traffic, Bishop went by hand to Bewley. So he's out here, just throws it on the boot. An old-fashioned torpedo. Foot race on in earnest here. Hamlin sit for the youngster there in Gardner. Got leg break. Allowed Brown to come back and do the mopping up. Switches play. Lucks of fortune, and it falls into the hands of Maher. So it's Joel Maher getting around Collie, and then conceded by left foot towards Howard, who'll go along the line. It's like Ganley with ball in hand. Just a mile away from us on half back for East Point. Goes short. Not a great deal of urgency shown by East Point at the moment. They need 4 goals and they need them in 4 minutes. So Brown takes it was Howard, in fact, took a second bounce and ran towards half back. Bewley in front, probably dropped what he should have taken there. Ball at ground level. Chance for Brown. Pushes the way the would-be tackle of Rungy. Got it inboard to Lobig. Searching hand pass was meant for McDougall. Got him. Hand pass went in towards Matty Johnson. He's tackled, taken to the ground. Free kick.
One too many handballs there.
And it'll be Angwin with ball in hand. He can send the Devils back into attack with one of those all too familiar raking left foots if he wants. He looks
could
like
probably have a shot from there.
I think he's going to handball to Leonard because he's been cramping up. So he'll come wide to Matty Brett. Oh, this is a collision.
Well done.
Too much on there. Bit off more than he can chew. And Q runs away from it, but he's got nothing forward. It's just all Darley. And Q just throws the ball onto the boot. Cousins had an awkward ball to mark, but he had time. Sent the ball back in the direction of Cadman. Diving gully attempt there from Cadman. Couldn't get a hand on it. Chance for Murley. Inboard to Bewley. On the left foot. Chose to go. Made it. Went looking in the middle. There was no one there. Rodder was too short. Didn't want to have a shot. Got caught in the middle and sprayed the kick out of bounds on the full. So they're deep into attack here, Darley, but East Point with ball in hand. The reigning dual premiers trailed by 24 points. It's a similar margin to their defeat last time they came here.
Jacob Brown to take the rebound kick. He's probably moved himself to best on ground for East today, just above Cam Lovig, I reckon, Toddy, with his last quarter.
Well, he's just had weight of possession through a lot of behinds. And
that's true.
So errant turnover. Nick Rodder, the leading goal scorer on the ground with 3. Brett Bewley 2. Cooper Murley 2. Whilst for East Point, Liam Canning and Jack Jeffrey with 2 apiece. So it'll be Brown again with ball in hand. 3 minutes to go. Goes along the line. 3.5. Ward sets himself, couldn't take the mark. I think he might have been winded there, the young fella. Ball goes to ground.
Up the hair to protect him on the landing.
And the hair?
They protected him on the landing there.
Oh, the hair did. So we're on half forward, broadcast side, right in front of us here. Pleasing change. Lance, quick kick out of the congestion, went forward, but there's Jacob Brown again. Wastes no time on this occasion. Goes to Lovig. So they're better players combining for the day. Right foot kick goes to the Wars members side centre wing. The mark's been taken there by Mitch Walsh. So he's got some rare space and opportunity here.
Fraser.
Left foot kick towards half forward was meant for Fraser. Darley have got numbers as the ball spews out to Azapati. Hand pass needed to be good. Found Bailey Young. He's got some time. Can take a bounce. Members side centre wing. Way the kick. Poor kick. Tied kick. We'll give him that benefit of the doubt. Bishop does the mopping up. Quick hands. Found Rodder on his non-preferred. Tumbling left foot kick. Didn't go real far. Taylor sets himself, couldn't take the mark. Pressure was good from Jack Muley. They go by hand here, East Point, through Ryan Walsh. Went to go to one player, but it was actually Brett Muley standing there, so he went by foot. Found Carson to a vacant centre wing. Canny was under it, took an uncontested mark. Can weigh up the options and go forward. Johnson the target, one-on-one, couldn't take the mark. Paul at ground level. Ward was terrific. Ushered the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in on half forward, outer side of the ground for East Point.
Fantastic again, the Darley backs. Kept Geordie Johnson to one goal, albeit he's kicked a couple of behinds, but they've done really well against him today compared to last time when he booted 9 majors, I think, didn't he, Toddy?
He did indeed. Never kicked more in his footy career. Boundary throw-in. Tap one by Van Meel. Sharked out of the congestion by Taylor, but there's Matty Brett again. He read it well off the boot, does that so well. It's going to be important next week against a dangerous offensive half, albeit the Cobras. Ball goes to ground. Chancellor Bishop, who runs through the middle of the ground. Awkward looking kick. Got to Rodder on the half volley. Made the kick look better than what it was. His hand pass was put Baker under the pump, but he was up to the task. Who found Cadman. Right foot kick was okay. To Young. Searching by hand. Lance on the non-preferred. He want to get onto the left. Here he does. He does the U-turn. Back to Young. Concedes ground by hand. Good vision here by the Devils as it ends up in the hands of Angwin. High up and under kick. Bewley's got 2 to beat. Brown's at the back, can take an uncontested mark as he'll run away. Dying minutes of this game here at Darley Park. The Devils lead by 24 points and they'll still be inside of the 6 in a couple of minutes' time. Rodder Moronis took the mark in the middle of the ground. Pinpoint kick to half forward. Found Taylor, who took a mark in front of Jordan. Just their continuity going forward has just been tough for East Point for the most part this afternoon. The Devils' press has been very good. Carson goes wide to Johnson. 2 to beat. Look at that defensive pressure. Well done, Darley, and Matty Brett just lets Johnson know about it. Darley 81, lead East Point 57. 28 and a half minutes gone, final term. Couldn't be long left in this game. 50 seconds. Boundary throw-in. Push in the back, umpire let it go. Van Meel won the tap. He's tried hard, the big fella today. Rodder Moronis was dispossessed. He's had no time and space today. And ping for the throw.
Baker.
And Baker with ball in hand. Will just sit it out in front of Bewley. He has to stop and prop. Brown behind. Makes him earn it. Bewley takes the mark. Outer side centre wing. This will be one of the last disposals of the game. Short kick. Darley's going to win. Cadman with ball in hand. Gets it back to Collie. Outer side centre wing. Broadcast side. Long right foot kick. Right of the target. One last roll of the dice here. Over the back. Could have been held without it. Yeah, free kick. And Rodder will have the last kick of the game. Darley's going to win here at Darley Park and be inside the 6 come 5 o'clock. So a shot after the siren could well play an important part of the season because percentage may well come into it later on. So
exactly right. And he'll put this one straight through. You'd think Nick Rodder, someone of his class. So he's kicked 3 already today, and the go back for 4 is a good day. And we spoke about it during the week on the presser, Toddy. Whoever kicked more out of Rodder and Johnston would likely get the chocolates, and it's turned out that way.
So it's Rodder directly in front.
Got it.
Puts it through. The Devils are home at Darley Park. 30-point win over East Point. 13-9-87 have defeated East Point 8-9-57 in a very good win by the Devils. They led by, at quarter time, they led by 11, 12 at the half, 9 at 3/4 time, and have gone on to win by 30. Much needed win for the Devils. Their second win against the top 6 side. Their first win against the top 6 sides is round 1. That will give that group plenty of momentous ahead of next week's all-important game against the Cobras, Spence.
Yeah, absolutely. They've set themselves up now, Darley, for the rest of the year. They've got obviously a big game against the Cobras next week, and then North as well, and they've got a bye. So it's a huge win for the Devils and puts them a game above Bacchus Marsh, sitting in. So Darley will be in 6th still. They might even jump higher. So they they didn't, not necessarily needed, but they definitely got it, and they were too good for East today. Their pressure was enormous all day, and we weren't sure if they would be able to hold it for long enough, but they certainly did it for 4 quarters today. And East were without Merritt and Dodd, but Darley without a few of their own as well. So a good win for the Devils.
Let's take a look at the goal scorers. Nick Rodder finished with 4, Brett Bewley 2, Cooper Murley 2, 1 each to Dylan Lant, Jack Bewley, Blake Colley, Mitch Gardner and Aidan Tanner. Whilst for East Point, Liam Canny and Jack Jeffrey 2 each, whilst 1s to Mitch Walsh, Geordie Johnson, Cam Lobig and Harry Ganley. Well, the Devils led at every change after kicking into the breeze in that opening term to get it done. They've defeated East Point by 30 points, 13-9-87, East Point 8-9-57. So a really good game, pressure, all the attributes. While Brett Bewley was probably best on ground with his token, well, he probably hit the par level of 39.